worlds of football. Michael Oliver is the referee. We learned this week that he will be one of England's World Cup referees in Qatar at the end of the year. He blows his whistle, the players take a knee, and then off we go. Manchester City get us underway. They're playing in the sky blue with the white trim. Actually, Aston Villa have turned them around, Leon Usman. They prefer to attack to the end to our left in the second half, but Villa have turned them around. Yeah, they did, John. First blow to Aston Villa, winning that toss, changing ends straight away from kickoff. And secondly, we were wondering whether it be John Stones at centre-half and Fernandinho at right-back or vice versa. Well, it's Stones starting at right-back. Yep, Stones right-back, Fernandinho in central defence alongside Laporte, Cancelo at left-back, Ederson in goal, obviously. And the rest of the City team, Rodri in the middle of midfield, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Jesus and Foden. And Aston Villa in the dark blue change kit go all the way back to their goalkeeper Robin Olsen, who's making his debut for Aston Villa. There's his first touch, and he's overhit his pass out here to the right hand side, over the top of Cash and out of play for a throw-in. Yeah, it wasn't the best of balls back to him. Played with a bit slowly, Jesus given the opportunity to close him down, and rather than just get it to the other end of the field, he tried to drop a soft one to Matty Cash, overhit it. As you said, the Manchester City fans really like that. So Robin Olsen in goal, experienced goalkeeper. If you're listening, you might well have seen him play for your team. He was playing for Sheffield United on loan this season, but he's on loan with Villa from Roma, Swedish international of great experience, former Everton man, playing for Villa against Manchester City on this day of all days. And the rest of the Villa team: Cash, Chambers, Mings and Digne, Douglas Luiz, McGinn and Ramsey, Buendia, Coutinho and Watkins. So we have Buendia and Coutinho starting in the same team for Aston Villa for the first time in 9 matches. Cash puts in a challenge on Foden in the right back position, Chambers, I beg his pardon, and that's a foul. Michael Oliver says unfussily, just walks across, gives the free kick, and a first set piece chance for Manchester City. But there has been developments at Anfield. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Yeah, this certainly wasn't in the script. Mood of optimism punctured. Wolves have scored in the 3rd minute of the game. Long clearance downfield from a simple goal kick right over the top of the Liverpool back four. Raul Jimenez cross from the right, and Pedro Neto sticks it home. Liverpool 0, Wolves 1.
And with that, Manchester City's grip on the title is tightened. City take the corner into the near post. 2 men going for it for City. Fernandinho and Rodri in between them. They've headed it over the near post and behind. So Manchester City, well, if Liverpool lose, doesn't matter what Manchester City do. No, it doesn't, but Manchester City certainly won't concern themselves with that at the moment. I am seeing 1 or 2 Manchester City fans obviously becoming aware that Liverpool have fallen behind, but the Manchester City players have just got to get on with it, do their job, win the game as they have done all season. They can't be distracted by that, Leon, can they? No, they certainly can't, and I wouldn't expect them to be either. No. You know, they're such a strong outfit, such a mentally tough team. Here's Jesus now down the left-hand side. Foden tries to whack it infield, and Mings was there on the edge of the area, plays it downfield to Watkins. This is what Villa will have wanted. Watkins up against Fernandinho into the penalty area on the left, but Fernandinho comes out with the ball. Just took it away from Watkins as clean as a whistle on his final appearance, the captain. Oh, and then he slips. Just when I was about to build him up, Leon, slipped over and gave the ball away, but it bounced back to Manchester City, and here they are now on the left-hand side with Jesus. Foden's in the middle for the time being. They're roared on by this Manchester City crowd. They will know, I'm sure, via their apps, maybe via BBC Sounds, that Liverpool are behind. Cancelo playing it low into the box, but that'll run through to goalkeeper Olsen, who's able to pick it up. So the first goal in these 10 Premier League matches that have all kicked off at 4 o'clock. Wolves leading at Anfield against Liverpool. I just see a Manchester City fan in front of us looking up to the media positions here and clearly asking the question, is it right? Wolves are in front. It is. Cancelo to the edge of the area, but shoots straight into the back of Chambers, who went down on one knee and blocked it with his back. That's a classic Cancelo run, isn't it? Yeah, and it just all opened up for him brilliantly. The surprise was he couldn't quite bend it around the Aston Villa defender, didn't give it enough of an opportunity to get behind, but brilliant start by Manchester City. They're on the front foot, the crowd are obviously very enthusiastic at the moment. They're moving the ball as quickly as you'd expect to see them.
and starting to stretch this Villa defence.
Yep, we're across all of the issues this afternoon. Reporters and commentators at all of the matches. But this Manchester City Aston Villa game, 0-0, is the commentary on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and the World Service are with us as well on this quite possibly, maybe probably, dramatic final afternoon of matches in the Premier League. Liverpool Wolves, the commentary is on Sports Extra via your digital radio and via BBC Sounds as well. So let's make another visit back there to Alistair Bruce Ball.
Liverpool not taking it lying down, 1-0 down, the early Neto goal. They've gone close to the equaliser. Luis Diaz with a cross in from the right wing. Joel Matip has headed it just wide. Liverpool need to win this game. That's the first thing they have to do this afternoon to have any chance of winning the title. They're trailing Wolves by 1-0.
So Manchester City coming into this match with a 1-point lead at the top over Liverpool. Currently 0-0 here. A vastly superior goal difference, which has now got one better for the time being, at least with that goal. So it's a +7 advantage that Manchester City have got in terms of goal difference right now. Beach ball suddenly is thrown down in front of us from someone in the Manchester City crowd. Party time already, Leon. Here's Laporte carrying it forward from the back, gives it to Cancelo. Now Foden down the left-hand side. He's got some space, and the cross is deflected actually by Douglas Luiz up across his own penalty area, back out. It's cleared into the right back position, and then Kevin De Bruyne gets involved, and it's shielded out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City. They're wearing black armbands today, incidentally, the Manchester City players. As you may know, it's 5 years today since the dreadful Manchester Arena bombing. So that is a mark of respect to the victims, and they've got the Manchester B as well sewn into their shirts, the Manchester City players today. Here's De Bruyne, middle of the half, goes back into the centre circle. Laporte now out to the left-hand side, rolls the ball low across the surface of the Etihad pitch to Cancelo. Cancelo now drifts past McGinn, but then his angle pass is far too overhit for Foden, who couldn't reach that, not in a month of Sundays, and it's through for a goal kick. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 0. So we're all across Manchester City and Liverpool. City very much with the advantage at the moment. As for the race to finish in the Champions League places between Tottenham and Arsenal, let's go first of all to Jonathan Overend, who is at the Emirates.
Arsenal 0, Everton 0. We've had Everton fans celebrating the Wolves goal, Arsenal fans chanting the name of Patrick Vieira, chances for Ødegaard and Saka. Arsenal with virtually all of the ball, 0-0.
Manchester City bringing the ball out from the back, still 0-0 here. Liverpool 1-0 down. Foden, oh, lovely flick. And he was a little unfortunate there that it didn't bounce for him. He'd beaten Cash all ends up, but the little flick off Cash took it out of play for a throw.
Yeah, he sees things that others don't. Cash was just starting to get as close to him as he could, and he just seemed to flick it around him. I didn't think it was possible. I certainly think Matty Cash didn't notice it.
Fernandinho with a long pass, but bounces all the way through to Olsen. And Jesus very nearly got a little touch on that. Chambers was there as well. But the goalkeeper came out, a little juggle, but he got it safely enough in the end. Yeah,
eventually brought it in second time basket. Brilliant ball from Fernandinho from that central position. Jesus momentarily thought he could get on the end of it, but
oh my goodness, Olsen cleared the ball straight into Jesus on the edge of the 6-yard box. Could have gone anywhere, but it bounced wide.
Well, that's it, John, that could have gone absolutely anywhere. Just taking unnecessary risks, Aston Villa, trying to keep possession of the ball in their own penalty area. Olsen, who was fortunate to get away with one in the first 30 seconds of the game, certainly got caught on the ball there. Brilliant pressure from City and Jesus, and unfortunate for them to see it just flash past the post.
Coutinho involved in the match for the first time, just gives the ball to Ramsey on the left-hand side, up towards Watkins, near the edge of the box. John Stones is the right back, tries to close down Digne on the left-hand side, who's overhit the ball right across the penalty area. McGinn back in, and then Fernandinho is there on the edge of the 6-yard box with Coutinho arriving. And it is Fernandinho who got the crucial touch over his own crossbar and up and over and behind for a corner.
I did, I'd like to see it again. I think he should have got something more on it. Coutinho, it's just a half a yard beyond his run, and he was outstretched in behind Laporte, who was so flat-footed that space became available. Fernandinho scrambling to try and get over there to clear it, and he just about manages to get there before Coutinho.
So it is a corner for Aston Villa. They're in no hurry to take this. But eventually they do, to the edge of the area. McGinn clips it in high, curler to the back post. Still City haven't cleared. De Bruyne got his head to it, bounces back across the edge of the box, and now it's worked back to Chambers, who chips it to the edge of the area, but he hit his own man and has floored the Villa player. I think it's Cash, isn't it, who is hit by the attempted pass. So he's flat on his back. Referee Oliver immediately stopped play, and we'll have a little stoppage here. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 0. But crucially, in the race for the title, it is Liverpool 0, Wolves 1. So City on course to defend the title. Straight to the relegation battle. Maz Farouki to Turf Moor.
Still goalless here, but we've just had 3 minutes pause in play or so. Joel Linton has had to be stretchered off. He went down after some contact. It didn't look like it was too much at the time, but he had required some treatment on his right ankle and has just been stretchered off. So Eddie Howe forced into an early change. Jacob Murphy has come on. Burnley started quite brightly, but as I say, no play for a few minutes and still goalless here. Burnley 0, Newcastle 0.
So it's simple for Leeds United. They've got to better Burnley's result if they're going to stay up. Leeds at Brentford, and so is John Akers.
Yes, as it stands, Leeds are relegated. Brentford 0, Leeds 0. They've just had a good break down the left-hand side, though. Leeds ball whipped in from Harrison. No one on the end of it, but Brentford look like the team in control of possession at the moment. It's 0-0.
A goal in one of the matches that doesn't have anything riding on it. Henry Moran.
Chelsea 1, Watford 0. Kai Havertz waiting at the back post. Kennedy's ball across. A simple finish. Chelsea lead 1-0.
It is Luca Digne actually who is down after taking a hit from that cross from his own man, and he's still receiving treatment, taking some time to recover. So let's go back to Norwich-Tottenham. Lee Blakeman.
Spurs on top, should be ahead. Højbjerg unmarked, 12 yards out, blazed his shot over Tim Krul's crossbar, and Harry Kane's just had a good effort saved as well. Norwich 0, Tottenham 0.
Tottenham know if they win, they will finish 4th above Arsenal. Finally, Digne is back on his feet and he's trotting away, and he seems okay to continue. Before we get back underway, back to Anfield, Alistair Bruce Ball.
12 minutes played, Liverpool 1-0 down to Wolves, needing to win this game to have any chance of winning the title. They are starting to create chances. Luis Diaz has been played in twice, once by Joel Matip, got through one-on-one with Jose Sarr, couldn't apply the finish the second time, flashed right across the face of the Wolves goal, but Wolves still leading through the early Neto goal. Liverpool 0, Wolves 1.
Liverpool, of course, unbeaten all season at Anfield in the Premier League. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 0. This is enough for City to be confirmed as the champions again. City, who are looking to win it for the 4th time in 5 seasons, which of course, I think that would be proper domination, wouldn't it? It would be very much City's era in the Premier League. Leon Osman, former Everton and England midfielder, is watching with us, and City playing the ball through the middle through Laporte, but Mings just bounced into his path, who was able to kick it away. Bernardo Silva's ball back over the top. Mings headed it away. Now it's taken down by Mahrez, who's not really been involved in the game yet. If he'd scored that penalty last Sunday at West Ham, the race might already be over. But we still have a race. City increasing their status as favourites, though, with the current scorelines, and Olsen slicing the ball out of play again for a throw to City.
Yeah, well, entertainment-wise, Mahrez has done us all a favour coming into this last weekend of fixtures, because there's so much still to play for. As you said, Liverpool finding themselves behind Manchester City. Early pressure has just slowed down a little bit with that head injury to Luca Digne. Just allowed everything to settle down. They need to start moving the ball quickly again, start creating chances.
That's what they're trying to do. Here's De Bruyne swinging the ball in from the right-hand side. It's headed across the box, and then McGinn heads it back to Olsen, but he was trying to be careful with it, trying to cushion it back to Olsen, but sent it too wide, and the goalkeeper couldn't get there, and it's a corner.
He just didn't appreciate the spin that was already on the ball, and as he tried to cushion it back, as soon as it touched his head, you could see how much spin was on that ball as it landed, and it just spun completely in a different direction than he was anticipating.
Already announced the crowd figure, Leon, 53,395. De Bruyne with the corner in from the left-hand side. Olsen comes, gets a punch on that, cleared the penalty area, then it was half volleyed by Mahrez straight up in the air. Jesus goes down, wanted the free kick, Michael Oliver says no, so Villa break, and then Cash is in on Foden, but Cash has done well. He swept the ball away from him, but Rodri was there in the in the screening role that he plays so well, Rodri, and just tidied up and passes it back to Ederson.
Yeah, he's brilliant at that, isn't he, Rodri? Anticipating danger, getting over, and not only stopping opposition attacks, but then keeping the ball. He doesn't just ever kick the ball out and allow his team to get back. He keeps possession. He starts attack from some brilliant positions. Very good, Rodri.
Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 0. So almost 53,500 people inside the Etihad Stadium. It is sky blue everywhere that you look, apart from the Villa section to our right. They've got all three tiers in there, so a strong contingent of supporters from Villa. If the results go their way, it is possible Steven Gerrard's side can finish in the top half of the Premier League today. City with the ball at the back. Laporte has just got to be careful with this. Plays it right-footed across his own penalty area. Fernandinho was above him, but behind him Ramsey could only head it out of play for a throw into Manchester City in the right-back area. There is a goal in the Norwich-Tottenham game. Lee Blakeman.
Spurs have got it. Norwich 0, Tottenham 1. Great move down the left. Tapped in 6 yards out by Dejan Kulusevski. Back in the starting 11. And dear me, did the travelling Spurs fans enjoy that. Norwich 0, Tottenham 1.
That's what Tottenham need to finish fourth. If they win at relegated Norwich, they'll be in the Champions League next season. De Bruyne carrying the ball forward for Manchester City, passing it forward to Foden. Foden was forced slightly wide, gives it back to Cancelo, who's behind him. Square from him, Mahrez now, Riyad Mahrez, back to Cancelo on the left-hand side. Villa are back in position now after the City break. Mahrez on the overlap ball, Mahrez to the byline, beats one man, plays it across the 6-yard box, and it was cleared away by Digne, falling on the edge of the 6-yard area. Brilliant work from City on the left-hand side. Lovely that from Mahrez and Cancelo.
Oh, right from the beginning of the attack, it was sensational. Kevin De Bruyne's pace initially, Phil Foden's choice of pass, and then Mahrez, who's sitting defenders, Aston Villa defenders down the backside in the penalty area. He just couldn't find the right pass to find the finish on the end of it.
City come again down the left flank. Bernardo Silva's involved now. He has Cancelo to the dead ball line, but a heavy touch took it straight behind and through before he crossed it for a goal kick. So Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 0. All of the matches covered for you. And then Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will take your calls on 606. It's always a good one, the 5 Live football phone-in on the last day of the season. Watch the highlights on BBC One tonight with Gary Lineker and Alan Shearer and Ian Wright, and then chew it all over on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast in the morning, which you can download from BBC Sounds. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 0. To the halfway line it goes, and Fernandinho will play it back to Ederson. It's an awkward one for him, so we won't go anywhere just yet. Ederson takes it down and with the surest of touches passes it out to Cancelo here on the left-hand side, and then back it goes to Ederson again. We've not heard from Selhurst Park since kickoff, where Manchester United are playing Crystal Palace. Manchester United, if they win, they will hold off West Ham in the European places. John Southall.
It's 0-0, John, but we've had a chance at peace. Cavani deflected shot, almost deceived Guaita, got a left hand to it. Joel Ward with a free header, put it wide. Palace have a free kick here on the right in a dangerous position. Palace 0, United 0. Erik ten Hag watching on from the main stand.
Yeah, widely flagged up in advance. The television cameras will be all over him today, won't they? Every reaction that Erik ten Hag makes to everything Manchester United do. Suspected today for a straight face. Here's Cancelo playing the ball back to Bernardo Silva, and then back to Laporte near the halfway line. Pep Guardiola watching on, and as a careless pass by Laporte, and Guardiola immediately is clapping his hands above his head. We saw this, didn't we? We've seen this in the recent matches here. You know, that's a signal as much to the players as it is to the crowd to stay behind the team.
Yeah, he's not been the only one to do that. Manchester City gave the ball away a couple of moments ago, and everybody was giving each other the thumbs up and applauding and clapping. You know, the enthusiasm of the team, the positivity of this Manchester City team today has been clear for all to see.
Yeah, the recent home matches here have gone strongly Manchester City's way. To Turf Moor, because Maz Faruqi.
There's a penalty for Newcastle, John, and Callum Wilson is standing over the ball. Nick Pope is just off his line. Craig Pawson is directing him to get back on his goal line. It was given on review. Nathan Collins getting his timing all wrong, clearly handling in the box. Craig Pawson going to the pitch side monitor and awarding it after he had a look at the replay. And yeah, Callum Wilson is about to take this penalty. You can hear the boos ringing round from the home fans here at Turf Moor, but it definitely looked like a penalty when you look at the replay. Wilson runs up and he scores, and Newcastle are ahead.
And the significance of that is, Maz, thank you very much, that Leeds now have a scoreline that would keep them up with you, John Akers.
And they've scored themselves. What a couple of minutes for Leeds United. Joe Gelhardt into the penalty area. They're having a look at it for offside. Oh, there's nerves in that away section. The yellow smoke filling the air over there, but they're having a look at this. Leeds leading at the moment. I'll let you know what the VAR check says.
Oh, that's an anxious one for Leeds United supporters who are listening to us, waiting to go back to John Akers to find out what happens there. But that is a huge swing in the last 30 seconds, Leeds United's way.
Well, it could be, if that VAR decision holds up in their favour. A massive couple of seconds in both of those teams and fan seasons.
With the scorelines as they are, Leeds United are staying up and Burnley will be relegated. And here's John Stones bringing the ball forward for Manchester City, giving it to the right-hand side to Mahrez. Lovely, puts his foot on the ball, drags it back. Manchester City are drawing here, but Liverpool are losing, so it will be City's title with the scores as they are here and at Anfield. And we need to get back to Brentford, don't we, John?
Disallowed. Still 0-0 between Brentford and Leeds United. As it stands, though, that point, as you said, would be enough for Leeds, but the Gelhardt goal's been chalked off. Brentford 0, Leeds 0.
So that would mean that Leeds United are staying up by the skin of their teeth by 1 point. But there's a long way to go yet.
Yeah, I expect that at both ends of the table there will be things that are still to transpire for the day. A lot of positional changes, a lot of goals that will come and go. It's so exciting this last day of the season, and trying to keep abreast of it all is near impossible.
Almost impossible.
Almost.
Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 0 remains the score here. They'd like a settler here, the crowd. You know, it's all very well Pep Guardiola coming out and clapping his hands above his head, but sometimes I feel that just maybe adds a little bit of tension in there as well.
Yeah, Ken, I do feel that there are a few nerves. I've seen Manchester City play with such authority all season long, and yet defensively especially, Aston Villa have got the ball forward quickly. City are looking a little nervous.
Here's Cancelo down the left-hand side. Cancelo just stabs it back to Bernardo Silva, and then square to Rodri, 25 yards out. Rodri onto his right foot, curls it low and across. John Stones gets the ball under control, crosses it to the edge of the box, but it comes off a Villa back and bounces away well wide of goal, and behind for a Manchester City corner that they're going to take quickly. Mahrez and De Bruyne are there together halfway through the first half. 0-0 here, but Liverpool losing at Anfield. So Mahrez with this in-swinging corner, left-footed, a high one into the 6-yard box, but Olsen comes and he makes an easy catch. Players around him but not being challenged, and he's able to go down and hold that ball quite comfortably. So it remains 0-0 here in Manchester. And in Liverpool, Alistair Bruce Ball.
Still Liverpool 0, Wolves 1. Obviously a huge understatement to say if Manchester City don't beat Aston Villa this afternoon and Liverpool lose at home to Wolves, they will be absolutely kicking themselves. Since you were last here, loads of Liverpool pressure. Naby Keita's had a shot block, but Wolves have gone closest to the next goal. Dendoncker missing as Wolves attacked on the counter. Sadio Mane could be through for Liverpool. He scored. It's the equaliser. Sadio Mane strokes it home with his left foot. Title race still alive. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1.
But Manchester City on the attack here. Foden with a shot that is narrowly wide of the foot of the left post, and behind. It took a flick, it took a touch, it was deflected wide. It's a corner to Manchester City. Still 0-0 here, but the fact that it's 1-1 at Anfield now, that doesn't change anything. Manchester City are still on course to win the title.
No, but it was a brilliant counter-attack from Manchester City there again. Real nerves and edginess when they're defending their own penalty area. Aston Villa nearly creating an opportunity, but once they broke, it's nearly devastating. Kevin De Bruyne's run, Phil Foden with the finish, but you're right, come off the heels of Mings to push it past the post.
De Bruyne with the corner into the near post, but that is sliced wide and behind by Buendia for another corner, second consecutive corner. The Etihad, by the way, was on its feet in the 22nd minute. That was another tribute to those who lost their lives in the Manchester Arena bombing 5 years ago. De Bruyne walks across with the ball again. So both matches in the title race are level currently. De Bruyne takes this one. It's a deep one all the way to the back post, but that is headed away by Digne. But behind him, Mahrez is there to play it in. But Mings was able to clear. A couple of players have gone down inside the penalty area, but Mings got good distance on that. And Manchester City played all the way back to Ederson in the goal to our right.
Yeah, they tried to be clever there, Manchester City. Mahrez pulled all the way to the far side of the penalty area, and Kevin De Bruyne tried to ping one right the way across to him. But Lucadine had read it well, got out and made sure he stopped that ball, making it all the way.
So still 0-0. Incidentally, with the issue of Coutinho and Buendia starting together, they've started 5 matches together for Aston Villa, and Villa have won only 1 of them. And as I say, it's the first time that they've both been in the starting lineup in 9 matches. And I know it's been a bit of an issue. Last time I was there, Steven Gerrard was asked about it. And I very much got the impression that he was getting slightly tired of being asked about that. And he maintained they could both play in the same team.
Well, of course they can both play in the same team. They're both intelligent footballers, but it's a question of balance, and with them both wanting to play narrow and inside, where do you then get the width? But in this performance today, McGinn and Jacob Ramsey are playing a little bit deeper and a little bit wider, and it's affording them to both play as number 10s.
Here's the newly named Premier League Player of the Season again, second time he's won it. Kevin De Bruyne plays it out towards the right-hand side. It comes back to Bernardo Silva, who passes it back to the halfway line. Premier League Young Player of the Season was his teammate Phil Foden for the 2nd consecutive season. Straight back to Arsenal, Jonathan Overend, because...
Penalty to Arsenal, handball by the ex-Arsenal man, Alex Iwobi. It needed a check to the pitch side monitor, and actually a long passage of play took place before there was a stoppage, allowing Andre Mariner to check. It's about 4 minutes now since the half of the handball. Play went on, but now it's the penalty, and here comes Martinelli to try to give Arsenal the lead. It was his shot that was blocked by Iwobi's arm. Begovic is in goal for Everton today. Martinelli sends him the wrong way, and it's Arsenal 1, Everton 0.
But Tottenham are winning at Norwich, so Tottenham are still finishing 4th. Here's Cancelo, lovely turn onto his left foot, shoots across the area though, and that was blocked by McGinn inside his own penalty area, and Villa will clear. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service on this final day of the 2021-22 Premier League season, where, with the scores as they are, Manchester City are winning the title. And here's Jesus being played through into the penalty area on the right, pulls the ball across, but straight at the goalkeeper, who was able to grab it. A little juggle, but caught it Olsen. I think it might actually have bounced into his face, into his nose, before he caught it the second time.
Yeah, well, it was good play again from Manchester City, the way they moved the ball quickly. Mahrez playing the run from Jesus, probably just overhit the pass and makes Mahrez really have to scramble, Jesus really have to scramble for it. And in doing so, he doesn't pick anyone out, he just tries to flash it across the face of the penalty, and you're exactly right, John, it hits Olsen flush in the face before it eventually falls into his hands, and he's certainly feeling the effects of that in a moment.
Right on the end of his nose. And whether there's blood there, actually, medical people are having to come on. So another little stoppage here, so we'll have 2 or 3 minutes, I would have thought, to be added on at the end of the half. So with the scorelines as they are, 0-0 here, 1-1 at Anfield, that means Manchester City are on course for the title. Tottenham are finishing 4th. Manchester United are finishing 6th. The big change is at the bottom, where currently Leeds United are staying up and Burnley are being relegated. Back to Anfield, Alistair Bruce Ball.
Coming up to half an hour played, Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. That Mane goal has got the Liverpool fans buzzing again. Been a really interesting game to watch, actually. Wolves obviously playing on the counter. The Liverpool pressure is pouring forward. The shots raining in. Latest, Andy Robertson volleying over the bar. Liverpool need to win the game to give themselves a chance of winning the title. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1.
Already today you've heard the Spanish Grand Prix. The FA Trophy final will be underway at Wembley. Wrexham 0, Bromley 0. County Championship cricket continues as well via the BBC Sport website and app, and that's not the end of it, no siree, because we've got the final round of the PGA Championship golf on 5 Live tonight with Ian Carter in Oklahoma. 0-0 here at the Etihad. Back to Turf Moor, Maz Faruqi.
Newcastle still lead. Kieran Trippier, though, went down clutching his left foot, the same one which you remember he broke a couple of months ago, so perhaps something to keep an eye on. But the Burnley fans very frustrated with Craig Pawson, the referee. They think all the decisions are going Newcastle's way. Burnley yet to have a shot on target. Newcastle still lead through that Callum Wilson penalty, 1-0.
Robin Olsen's received his treatment. He's got the ball at the moment. He just actually dabs his nose with his left glove, but I think he's okay. And play resumes again, and then Ollie Watkins is wrestled over by Fernandinho in the centre circle, and that's a simple free kick.
Yeah, Watkins has attached himself to Fernandinho. He's playing in and around him. He fancies that battle rather than going right up against Laporte. I wondered whether he'd play in between them, but that's not been the case.
Applause.
A bit of joy for it.
Applause here because Kyle Walker has appeared and gone out to warm up. We thought we weren't going to see him again this season, likewise John Stones. And here is Stones in the right back position, chesting the ball down and putting it out of play down the left-hand side. In fact, I asked Pep Guardiola a couple of weeks ago, so that's it, they won't be involved with England at all, and he said absolutely not, we won't see them again till pre-season, and here they are. So I presume they'll be in the England squad when Gareth Southgate names it on Tuesday. Back to Arsenal, Jonathan Overend.
2-0 Arsenal, and Eddie Nketiah is at it again. He's finishing the season strongly. Corner from Saka, flicked on, knocked in.
Jesus breaking away from Manchester City, but rather in a laboured fashion. By the time he managed to get the shot in, there were two defenders in front of him, and I think he actually hit the shot against Kevin De Bruyne, and it bounced behind and through for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think he did. It was questionable whether he was offside. I think he was just about onside as Phil Foden won the ball from Luiz, and then Jesus is running at Mings inside his own penalty area, backing him in, and actually I don't think it hits anyone. I think once Jesus cuts onto his right foot, I think he just scuffs it, hits it into his own foot, his standing foot, and it goes terribly wide, and Manchester City still to register a shot on target.
The crowd are getting on to Robin Olsen because he hasn't taken this goal kick, and Villa, well, I thought there was going to be a yellow card for Robin Olsen, but actually Michael Oliver has gone across to have a chat with Tyrone Mings, and I think he's telling him, look, you need to get on with it, but to be honest, the simple thing, just show the yellow card.
Yeah, I think he's basically going over to the Aston Villa captain and saying, look, speed your team up, otherwise I will start having to give yellow cards, because you're right, Aston Villa are trying to take an age over every dead ball situation.
Yeah, what will hurry them up is showing a yellow card. And here's Olsen now, who's already taken on the persona of the villain here. It's still 0-0, Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 0. He's not had to make a save, as Leon Osman was saying, so far, and we've played over half an hour. 0-0 here, 1-1 at Anfield. Cross right-footed from Mahrez to the back post, which is headed up and wide. Jesus was jumping for it. Goalkeeper came for it, Chambers as well, and it's deflected behind. And it is a corner to Manchester City. Back to Norwich, Tottenham, Lee Blakeman.
Norwich 0, Tottenham 2. Norwich caught playing out from the back. Bentancur chipped it in, Kane with a diving header. Does that decide the top four? Norwich 0, Tottenham 2.
So Kane, that's his 17th Premier League goal of the season. Corner taken for Manchester City to the back post, headed back across the penalty area. McGinn's not going to be able to keep it in. No, he's kicked it up into the tier above us. It hasn't come back down, and City are saying to those sitting in the middle tier above us, come on, throw it down, which they do, and it obviously lands on somebody's head down in front of us. There's much mirth down there. Someone's been clocked on the top of the head by the ball. I think they're all right.
Most people seem to enjoy that.
Yeah,
not everybody.
Everyone seems to be laughing at them. How uncharitable. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 0. Long one downfield. Here, this is for Foden to chase. Might have got a little shove in the back. He back heels it, but that'll just bounce through for a goal kick to Aston Villa. So that second goal for Tottenham strengthens their position. So it looks like Champions League football for Tottenham could be highly significant, that, in terms of what happens with Tottenham. That will be a discussion point at the end of the match. Antonio Conte, Harry Kane, etc. And Tottenham winning, Arsenal winning 2-0 against Everton. But if Tottenham win, Arsenal can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that'll have been the job, and Conte wants to be in the Champions League. It's a big turnaround from what we looked, or what everybody thought was going to be the top four only 2 or 3 weeks ago. Spurs have put a really good run together at a perfect time.
So it's both matches at the top of the table being drawn. But it just feels still quite finely poised. That means there's still just 1 point between the top two. And a little bit of edginess inside the stadium, or not? Or are they comfortable enough?
No, I think there are a few nerves. I think certainly defensively, and Aston Villa have got the ball forward. Manchester City, even the crowd, it just feels like there are a lot of nerves in those situations. And the fact that they still haven't really created a clear-cut chance in the game is probably surprising one or two people.
Still 0-0, 10 minutes to go to half-time. No Jack Grealish in the team, the Villa captain, against his old club. Cancelo chips the ball into the penalty area to Jesus, takes it to the byline, beats his man, still going, beats Mings twice, then crosses it, it's headed away, nodded back across the box by Bernardo Silva, but then Villa are able to scrape it away. Cancelo slips though at the crucial point, and Buendia, with this white strapping around his wrist, gives it away, and Rodri is quickly in on McGinn to win the ball. And actually might have caught McGinn as well, or did he just fall awkwardly? But it's through for a goal kick to Villa.
Yeah, just caught him with the follow-through. Rodri committed to the tackle. McGinn just lost sight momentarily, but just before that, Jesus twisted and turned Tyrone Mings inside out in the penalty area and just didn't pick anyone out. He had numbers inside the box, and in my opinion, it just took too long, a touch too many in trying to pick out that pass. Yes, Villa had a number of defenders back to try and defend it, make it difficult for Jesus. He needed to pick a teammate out.
Still 0-0 here. 4 times in the Premier League this season Manchester City have failed to score in a match. Remember the 0-0 at home against Southampton, lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace here, failed to score either match against Crystal Palace, and no goals yet in this match against Aston Villa. It's quite tight between the sides when they met earlier in the season. 2-1 win for Manchester City at Villa Park.
Yeah, I mean, the concerning thing for Peppers would be, as I said, that quite often his team dominate the game and they create chances, and they necessarily haven't got the finishing boots on. They missed the chance. Today they haven't really created an awful lot. They haven't really troubled this Aston Villa team enough that you'd expect for a team that's really desperately going for the title.
If Manchester City were to lose, then the ball is on the left-hand side. We'll come back to that because Villa coming forward. Dina with a cross from the left. Cash with a header. It's in! It's in! Ederson diving to his left, got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. And Matty Cash has turned things around here because it's Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1. And the Premier League leaders, the defending champions, are losing at home to Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa. Now currently, with Manchester City losing, Liverpool would have to win to be champions, because if it were a draw at Anfield, it would come to goal difference, and Manchester City have the superior goal difference. But what about this for a scoreline? Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1 to Anfield. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Good timing, John. Anfield knows the message is rippling around the stadium. They are transmitting that message onto the field. Sadio Mane has got them back level. They still want to get themselves in front. They've been pressing in this first half. It is still 1-1, but Liverpool continue to pour forward. Not since 1989 has the team starting the final day in second place gone on to win the title. Mane with a header is well saved by Jose Sá. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1.
Yes, since 1989, that famous game at Anfield between Liverpool and Arsenal, every season the team at the top going into the final match of the season in the English top flight has either already been confirmed as champions or were confirmed champions that day.
I was at that game as well, John.
You know.
In 1989, yes, I was there.
Fancy that. What were you doing there? We'll come back to that because John Southall at Crystal Palace.
It's jumping in here. Palace 1, Manchester United 0. United gave the ball away, made its way to Wilf Zaha, and he tucked it into the bottom left-hand corner. Eric is grim-faced. Palace 1, Man United 0.
West Ham have got to win though to finish above Manchester United, and it is currently Brighton 0, West Ham 0. But now it is very finely poised with this scoreline. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1, and still Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. Liverpool would have to win to be champions, and this scoreline would have to stay as it is. But this is a shock to the system for Manchester City and for Pep Guardiola. Here's De Bruyne on the right-hand side trying to wriggle his way past Coutinho, but the ball runs out of play and it's a throw-in to Aston Villa, halfway inside their own half. So back to Anfield, Alistair Bruce Ball.
John, there's definitely going to be more twists and turns. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1, but it's only still 1-1 because of the brilliance of Alisson. Hwang Hee-chan as Wolves attack again on the counter, in through one-on-one. How many times have we seen Alisson save Liverpool this season? Low to his left, gets a hand to it and tips it into the side netting. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1.
It's not going to be another 1995, is it, Leon? Do you remember when Manchester United drew at West Ham and Blackburn lost against Liverpool but still won the title? Here's Cash, the goal scorer. the supporters' player of the season this season for Aston Villa, trying to get past Cancelo down the left. He's claiming he was blocked. Referee Oliver's having none of that. So Matty Cash, what a good header it was as well. Ederson couldn't keep it out. De Bruyne though, playing it to Mahrez. Mahrez is past Digne. Mahrez playing it to Foden. First time pass, bounces back. It was blocked to Mahrez. Mahrez plays it square to Cancelo. City are all over Villa. Cancelo's right-footed ball into the penalty area with the outside of his boot was above both Jesus and Foden, and Olsen, the keeper, made the catch.
Yeah, well, just going back, John, I think it certainly does have the capability to be like 95. Manchester City at the moment, things are so easy for them at times. They always have a nice easy pass. They always have an opportunity to play a spare man.
Pass back from Fernandinho to Ederson, and Villa were claiming that Fernandinho, having hit that just a little short, then impeded Watkins, who couldn't get there. Referee Oliver's having none of that.
I think it did, but I don't think it was enough for a penalty kick or anything like that. But those passes that Manchester City usually find so easy, and they're usually always on, they're not there today. They're having to force passes and misplacing them.
Coutinho playing it forwards and through to Watkins, and Villa come again, and Watkins shoots, but sliding block by Laporte, who went with Watkins, did well, and went down to block it, and Foden's pass cross-field straight at Digne, and there's frustration and anger here. Some of the Manchester City supporters are looking very twitchy. With these scorelines, Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1, and Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. It is still Manchester City who are winning the title, but there's not much room for manoeuvre now.
Aston Villa are playing with real confidence. Ollie Watkins got one-on-one with Laporte there and looked like he created that half a yard for a shot. It was a desperate lunge from Laporte just inside his own penalty area. It's Aston Villa that look the more dangerous at the moment. Manchester City continuing to give sloppy passes away, trying to force the issue.
So here comes Coutinho through the middle on his right foot. Coutinho shoots wide, but he drags it well wide from the edge of the penalty area. So with these scorelines, Manchester City losing here, they would have 91 points. Liverpool would finish on 90 points, and Liverpool would also have 90 points, but Manchester City have the superior goal difference. So at the moment, City are winning the title on goal difference, just like 10 years ago. City coming forward down the right-hand side. We're going to go to Brighton in a moment, but City on the attack, and the ball in from the right-hand side from Stones is gathered by Olsen, who drops on it and has it safely. Let's go to Brighton. Chris Coles.
Advantage West Ham in the battle for the Europa League. Brighton 0, West Ham 1. Mikel Antonio firing in a brilliant left foot shot right into the top corner. His 19th goal of the season, and with Palace beating Manchester United, West Ham are Europa League bound.
Here's Watkins into the penalty area on the left-hand side, but overran it, and Ederson was able to come out and gather it. And Manchester City are living very, very dangerously.
Well, I spoke before the game, John, about which way round I'd play them. I'd play Stones centrally, and I would play Fernandinho as a right-back. And at the moment, Ollie Watkins is just trying to take advantage of that. He's going right up against Fernandinho. They're playing long balls at times. It's a challenge between the two of them, and suddenly, on that occasion, Watkins is through one-on-one and should have done better.
It's very simple. They're doing the West Ham thing that David Moyes did last week with Antonio playing against.
Yeah, you get up against someone that you can physically beat and meet the challenge of, and if you've got more pace than them as well, get the ball up to them as quickly as they've done, and Villa have done it well.
Here's Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side. We're into the last 2 minutes of the first half. So with West Ham winning, they will be finishing above Manchester United. So it would be Manchester United into the Europa Conference League, and West Ham in the Europa League, where they reached the semi-finals this season. City with Mahrez, little back heel flick. Now De Bruyne into the box, low ball to the near post, it's blocked back to De Bruyne, sweeps it across but into the side netting, the outside netting, via a deflection off a Villa man. There were 4 defenders in there. It's a corner to City.
Oh, brilliant defending from Aston Villa, get enough players back. It's Chambers initially that gets really tight on Jesus, stops him being able to get an effort on goal, and Mings and Luca Dean back him up so quickly. City corner, but better pressure from City.
Manchester City losing the match but winning the title. Mahrez swinging the ball in, it's headed away. Villa got there first. He was aiming for John Stones. 5 live sounds and the World Service, and there is drama, Leon. On all of the various previews that I've done over the course of the past couple of days, I'm not being proved wrong. Cancelo shooting right-footed from 25 yards. It was blocked at source, and then Rodri goes back into the centre circle. Didn't like the feeling that I might be leading people up the garden path. De Bruyne playing the ball from deep through the middle, but Olsen comes and catches it quite comfortably.
Yeah, we always knew there was going to be drama. It's the Premier League. It doesn't happen as easy. There's no givens. Manchester City knew they would have to come here and make sure that they win this game to win the title. The same at Anfield. Those fans that turned up at Anfield that seemed enthusiastic and supporting the team, they're used to winning. They're used to things sort of developing so that there's an opportunity to win. That's what their team have shown them week in, week out, and at the moment that's the way it's transpiring.
Yeah, used to be Givens, Shea Given, but he's not playing anymore. David Coote, the fourth official, shows 4 minutes. Jesus wins a header on the edge of the area against Mings, but Chambers was able to come to the rescue. As the ball bounced across the box, Chambers was able to scramble it out for a throw to Manchester City. Chambers playing alongside Mings, with both Konza and Hawes out injured at the moment. Here's Foden, groans for those 4 minutes, and again that betrays the nerves here. Aston Villa leading by 1-0 against Manchester City, but it is still Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. So Manchester City currently winning the title on goal difference only. Ball down the right-hand side for Stones, the makeshift right back. Has played there before, of course, and actually got injured playing there against Brighton in that match when he switched across to right back a few weeks ago. Long ball from the halfway line for Manchester City, cross field. Got a pass from De Bruyne. What a takedown from Foden! Crosses it to the near post. Comes back to him though. It was blocked initially by Chambers. Foden finds Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva to Cancelo on his right foot. Beats his man. Shoots weakly left-footed, and that was blocked by Chambers inside the box. He beat Buendia brilliantly. Buendia came sliding in and was completely beaten by the drag back.
Yeah, he was, but initially brilliant first touch by Phil Foden. The way he took the ball and then twisted around, and as has happened too often for Manchester City though in this first half, they've not been able to pick the right pass in the penalty area. And then you're right, Buendia was done all ends up with Cancelo. He must have had about 5 or 6 efforts to try and get shot away. He's not beat the first man yet.
And still, Olsen has not had a save to make. He's had a lot, he's been involved, heavily involved, with crosses and taking centres, and Villa defending, but Manchester City just haven't got that punch at the moment. They'll have Haaland next season, but he's not here yet. Cancelo playing the ball into the penalty area. Foden pulls it back, that's blocked as well. Cancelo onto his right foot, swings it in, that's gone to the back post, and Digne was there, falling Digne to put it up and over his own crossbar and behind for another Manchester City corner. Manchester City's 7th corner of the first half. Manchester City nevertheless are the Premier League's top scorers this season with 96 goals. Don't forget that, even without Haaland. Corner then from the right. Mahrez swings it in high to the back post. Laporte heads it down, but got no power on it. Just headed it down, and it bounced up more or less straight at Olsen, who was able to drop forward and catch it into his chest with 3 minutes of the 4 played in added time at the end of the first half. Leon Osman.
Yeah, saves don't really come much easier than that, but at least Laporte got on the end of it. Soft header, but keeper's made a save now.
Another first half goal at Arsenal, Jonathan Overend. We'll hear from Jonathan in a moment or two. Manchester City have got the ball inside their own penalty area. Everton have scored, so Arsenal lead Everton by 2-1. More details from Jonathan on that in a moment. Tottenham are winning though 2-0 at Norwich. Here's De Bruyne carrying the ball deep into Villa territory, uses Mahrez to his right. Mahrez turns Digne, but then Ramsey was there to stop Mahrez getting any further, and Villa are able to clear it up towards Ollie Watkins, very much the lone front man there. He hasn't got anyone else in Villa. Black within probably 30 yards of him, and he tried to win a throw-in on the far side, failed to do so. Nevertheless, that is the end of the first half here at the Etihad Stadium, and this is not how the script was meant to be written for Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, because it is Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1, and currently City, with the scorelines that they are, would be winning the title on only goal difference, because at Anfield, Alistair Bruce Ball,
it is Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. We are also deep in added time. Slight concern for Liverpool fans. They've just seen Thiago hobble off and make his way straight down the tunnel. Champions League final, of course, next Saturday. We'll worry about that a little bit later on. The Liverpool fans well aware their team needs another goal. If they can get the next goal in this game, then they will get their noses ahead in the title race right at the end of the first half. Here they come attacking again. It's not been Liverpool at their finest this afternoon. A lot of possession and a lot of pressure on the Wolves goal, but a lot of silly mistakes as well. Could easily be 3-3 this game. Here come Liverpool again. Wolves have played on the counter, missed some great chances. Alisson made one wonderful save from Hwang Hee-chan. Here's Henderson's ball, looking to try and find Sadio Mane on the edge of the penalty area. Wolves play the ball out of their own half. That is covered by Jota, who's come all the way back into the right back position, and the half-time whistle blows. Well, it's been a remarkable afternoon at Anfield so far. Liverpool getting a real shock to the system when Wolves scored in the 3rd minute of this game. Pedro Neto, simple ball over the top from the goal kick. Jimenez crossed and Neto stuck it away. Liverpool have pretty much been on the attack ever since. Got the equaliser through Sadio Mane. Then came news that Manchester City were behind. That roar went thundering round the ground, and Liverpool sort of lost their heads for 10 minutes or so there. Still plenty of time to try and win this game. As it stands, it's 1-1, and as it stands, that is not good enough for Liverpool to win the title at the moment. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1.
And by being as attacking as they're having to be, Ali, and chasing and chasing it, I suppose, Ali, they're leaving themselves vulnerable to the counter-attack, aren't they?
Exactly that, Mark, which is what is making it such a fascinating watch. You knew they were going to get on the front foot, but Wolves getting the early goal has made it even more open, and the better chances in the game have definitely gone for Wolves. The one they created to score the goal, I think Dendoncker should have made it 2-0. Again, they got away down the left-hand side. Cross came in from the left. Dendoncker at the near post just shot the wrong side of the post. And again on the counter, Liverpool getting caught out late on, and Alisson was there to save them again. Hwang got through in the one-on-one. Hit his shot well, actually. Tried to beat Alisson at the near post, and Alisson just reacted so quickly. Got a left hand to it. So like I say, it could be 3-3 this game.
Let's go back to the Etihad. John Murray and Leon Osman. City, I mean, is it fair to call them toothless in that first half, Leon?
I think it's always difficult to label a team going for the championship toothless, but they've not been as fluid as we've seen them in the past. They've not been as easy on the eye either. They've been a bit nervy, certainly defensively, but also in possession of the ball at the top end of the field. Those easy passes that they usually have, those passing lanes, Aston Villa have defended really well. They put people, we mentioned about Buendia and Coutinho playing, both in this team playing narrow. They've been either side of Rodri, just stopping him having nice possession of the ball, stopping City building up attacks, and then they've stopped those passing lanes. Those easy passes that Manchester City have time and time again have become much more difficult, so they've had to force them a bit more, and in doing so gives the ball away, and Aston Villa will be delighted with the first half of this game.
And then when City go wide, in the main to either Mahrez or Cancelo, really, and then they chop inside, and Villa are blocking them.
They are, and Aston Villa also fancy themselves from those positions. They're happy for Manchester City to cross the ball. Aston Villa, they'll fancy Mings and they'll fancy Chambers in the air against anyone City can put in there. So they want to force City wide. They want to flood their own penalty area with men. How many times did the first half we've seen City get into the corner of the penalty box like we've seen time and time again? Usually they pick the right pass, but not today. Aston Villa have defended it ever so well.
Under normal circumstances, when you see Manchester City have a half like they've just had, you kind of know that in the second half that the chances will come. But these are now not normal circumstances.
They are not, but it is City's title on goal difference as things stand. Let's go to the bottom of the table. The VAR penalty decision did for Burnley at Tottenham last Sunday. It's done for them in the first half this Sunday. Mas Faruqi.
It has, Mark. As it stands, Burnley will be in the Championship next season. They trail. It's 0-1 here, and I do feel for Nathan Collins. His handball in the area was what gave Newcastle that penalty as the ball was whipped in from a corner effectively that he also gave away after he was dispossessed in the area, and he was trying so hard to put right his mistake, but it was a definite handball. His arm was way out from his body. Craig Pawson awarded it after having another look via the pitch side monitor. Callum Wilson converted the penalty. The bad news for Newcastle is that Joel Linton had to be stretchered off in the opening minutes because of an injury to his right ankle. But they should perhaps have had a second goal, Newcastle, in stoppage time after a break from Sir Maximan. Burnley's first shot on target didn't come until the 45th minute. Mike Jackson ran off the pitch down the tunnel when the half-time whistle went. It's Burnley Newcastle 1.
So at the moment, Leeds are safe. Just John Akers.
Brentford 0, Leeds 0. Could have been 1-0 Leeds, and it was for one glorious moment for those 2,000 travelling fans in the corner. Gelhardt's goal put through into the roof of the net from Gelhardt, ruled out for offside by John Brooks, the video assistant referee. They were better at that point, Leeds, than Brentford, but Brentford before the break came right into it. Eriksson with a shot deflected wide, Jensen with a dink ticked over by Meslier, and the best chance, and Burmo 3 minutes before the break in on goal, angle, but dragged it wide. Brentford 0, Leeds 0.
Feels like Tottenham have removed the jeopardy from the race for the final Champions League spot, Lee Blakeman.
Very much so, yeah. Spurs good value for their 2-0 lead. Two well-taken goals, both assisted by Rodrigo Bentancur. The first, a great run, finished off by a Kulusevski tap-in. The second, a chipped cross from Bentancur after a Norwich mistake at the back. Harry Kane got on the end of it with a diving header. Spurs heading for the Champions League. Norwich 0, Tottenham 2.
So Arsenal are heading for the Europa League. Jonathan Overend.
2-1, they lead Everton at half-time. Gabriel Martinelli from the penalty spot after a handball by former gunner Alex Iwobi. Eddie Nketiah added a second, and they had plenty of other chances as well in the half, notably for Saka, who's been ever present in the league this season, and he's been excellent once more. Although the Everton goal back came in stoppage time through Donny van der Beek, who came off the subs bench to replace Abdoulaye Doucouré in that first half. His tap-in followed good work by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Half-time, Arsenal 2, Everton 1.
That Donny van der Beek goal, the most positive thing about the last 45 minutes for Eric Ten Hag, John Southall. Good grief.
Absolutely. Very uncomfortable viewing for Eric Ten Hag in his beige jacket in the main stand here to our left-hand side. Palace 1, Manchester United 0. Welcome to the defensive frailties of Manchester United, Eric. 3 times Palace went close before the goal came. David De Gea denied Zaha and Schlupp. Then the usual frailties at the back. The goal, Bruno Fernandes gave the ball away. Wilf Zaha held off Dalot and Lindelof and tucked it into the bottom left-hand corner. 14th goal of the season. Really good finish. One chance for United at 0-0. Edison Cavani deflected shot, almost deceived Guaita, went the wrong way, but got his left hand to it. So at the moment, Manchester United are staring at the Conference League. Palace 1, Manchester United 0.
That's because West Ham are a goal up at Brighton. Chris Coles.
They are. West Ham are doing their bit. Mikel Antonio's rocket from the edge of the area, giving David Moyes' side the edge in the race for the Europa League. His 16th of the season, arguably his best. It was a terrific hit, cutting him from the right, left foot, bang, top corner. Robert Sanchez could only watch. Brighton have offered threats sporadically. Their best opportunities falling to Moses Caicedo and Solly March, both denied by Lucas Fabianski saves. Prior to Antonio's goal, it had been quite laboured. Perhaps the graft of long, hard seasons, especially for West Ham, taking its toll. But as it stands, West Ham Europa League bound. Brighton's hopes of a Premier League top half finish for the first time fading. Brighton 0, West Ham 1.
Let's go to Stamford Bridge next. Henry Moran.
Very end of term feeling here at the Bridge. Chelsea leading 1-0 thanks to Kai Havertz's close finish on 11 minutes. He could have scored again with the final kick of the half, but hammered a shot against the crossbar. Watford have offered precious little. Kiko Firmino with the one attempt on target. Roy Hodgson, somewhere below me, is delivering his final half-time team talk. Chelsea 1, Watford 0.
Oh, Pat.
Leicester 0, Southampton 0. Not as riveting as it sounds. Thank heavens for the Sunday papers. Not a shot on target. I shall delay you no further, except to remind you of Baron de Coubertin's comments at the 1896 Olympics. It's the taking part that matters. Leicester 0, Southampton 0.
Let's move on quickly to the FA Trophy final at Wembley. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Bromley 0, Wrexham 0. A fascinating watch between two excellent non-league teams here. Mark, Wrexham have had the majority of the possession in the final third, but 39 goal strike force. Ollie Palmer and Paul Mullin haven't yet tested the goalkeeper. Bromley have been compact and organised. It remains, however, goalless.
Massive 45 minutes on the way. It's a minute to 5 o'clock. Matthew Bone has the news.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. One of Britain's largest energy companies, E.ON, says about 20% of its customers are currently in fuel poverty, and that could rise to 40% when prices increase again in October. The company's calling on ministers to take very substantial action to help those worst affected. The Education Secretary Nadeem Zahawi says the senior civil servant who's investigating lockdown breaches at Whitehall will have complete control over what's published in her report. It's unclear if pictures and WhatsApp messages gathered by Sue Gray during the investigation will be released. Russian forces are stepping up their offensive in eastern Ukraine. The government in Kyiv says it won't agree to any ceasefire that involves giving up territory. And the UK Health Security Agency says more cases of monkeypox are being identified on a daily basis. 20 people are known to have been infected with the disease, but one of the agency's chief medical advisors says the current risk to the general public is low.
BBC Sounds. Rewind to an iconic era with Radio 4's 90s season.
A decade when both past and future seemed up for grabs.
From what really happened in the 90s with Robert Carlyle.
There was a cultural energy that was hard to ignore.
To Bridget Jones's Diary by Helen Fielding.
I am once again starting the year in a single bed in my parents' house.
And from Six Music.
Better, happier, more productive.
Revisit Radiohead's groundbreaking album with a deep dive into OK Computer.
First time I pressed record, you could just feel the magic was there.
Celebrate the legacy of the 90s. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
So in the race for the title, Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. In the race to stay in the Premier League, Burnley 0, Newcastle 1, Brentford 0, Leeds 0. In the race for the Champions League, Norwich 0, Tottenham 2, Arsenal 2, Everton 1. And in the battle for Europa League, Europa Conference League, Brighton 0, West Ham 1, Palace 1, Manchester United 0. Stephen Warnock is at Anfield. This game is on Sports Extra if you want to listen to it. Wolves have caused them the odd problem, haven't they?
Yeah, can I copy and paste Leon Osman's answer?
Yes.
It's exactly the same. Honestly, chappers, you get that sense that it's an un-Liverpool-like performance. Decision-making's all wrong. They're caught in between positions. They're not pressing properly. The decision-making in the final third looks nervy. And it's exactly the same as what Leon said. I'm not surprised at all. I think there's going to be a change at half-time. Thiago left the pitch at the end of the half and James Milner's just been summoned down the tunnel. It wouldn't surprise me as well if Konate came off. I think the occasions perhaps got to him. He's really suffered and it looked like Virgil van Dijk was going through a rigorous warm-up at half-time. So big changes needed at half-time, whether it's personnel or attitude in the way that they approach the game.
Has it got slightly more chaotic since news of City falling behind came through?
Ever so slightly, but then you got the old head of James Milner on the touchline telling everyone to calm down and relax, and you just feel that someone who's been there, done it, understands what it's like on the final day of the season, having been at Manchester City, is that you do need a calmness about you. Need to relax in the game, and it's very easy for me to sit up here and say that. I've never been in that position, but oh God, it must be so difficult for the players.
I mean, this is probably one for during the week, but the bigger picture will be Thiago's injury with the Champions League final next weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was a real concern. There was almost a lull around the ground as, oh no, not him, because I think that the Liverpool fans are delighted to see Van Dijk and Salah on the bench today. I think Fabinho's obviously not, and that'll be a concern for Liverpool fans, but to lose Thiago with the form that he's in, that will be a huge concern.
Then they might be trying to coordinate all the games getting underway again that have got something on them. So Liverpool aren't back out yet, neither are Wolves. City, Zinchenko is out, which would imply that there's a substitution to be made there. Burnley are out at Turf Moor, but there was a long amount of injury time there. Leeds just coming out at Brentford. So the relegation battle, I think they're going to try and make kick-off at the same time, and they'll probably do the same for the title. So City are out, they're waiting for Villa. Neither Liverpool or Wolves are out at Anfield. Let's just go to Ian Carter with the final round of the USPGA underway, and we'll have commentary on it later on this evening here on 5 Live. Ian.
And it's going to be a fascinating evening, I think, especially with Matt Fitzpatrick up there on the leaderboard, Mark. Just 3 shots off the lead in the final pairing with the unheralded Mito Pereira, the leader from Chile. It really is not the leaderboard we were expecting, but this is a fantastic opportunity for Fitzpatrick in cool Chile conditions to potentially become the first ever Englishman to win the PGA in its stroke play format. So potentially a little bit of golfing history tonight.
OK, Ian, thank you very much. Let's go back to the Etihad. The teams still aren't out at Anfield. City are ready to go, though, Leon Osman and John Murray.
Yes, so it looks as though this half will be kicking off significantly before Anfield. So if you've just joined us, the drama is here on this final afternoon of the Premier League for the season. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1. Villa leading through Matty Cash's header in the 37th minute. But City are still heading for the title, but only on goal difference because it's 1-1 at Anfield. Interesting change that Manchester City have made, and that is that Fernandinho has been taken off. So that is the end of his Manchester City playing career. He'll leave the club at the end of the season. Zinchenko's come on to play at left back. Cancelo's come to right back, so Stones and Laporte in central defence. And you can understand, Leon Osman, why he's made that change.
Yeah, absolutely. I was saying during the first half that Aston Villa were trying to expose Fernandinho 1v1 with Ollie Watkins, that it would be better suited if John Stones went into a more central position, and that's the change that has been made by Pep at half-time. Zinchenko onto the left, Cancelo onto the right, and that'll give natural width for both of those rather than the players always cutting it onto the inside leg foot.
Yeah, Villa not often coming forward, but when they did, they were getting joy. Here comes City with a ball swept right across the penalty area by Foden, but all the way across and through for a throw into Villa in the left back position. So they're not underway at Anfield yet, I don't believe, but we have started the second half. We played 43 seconds of the second half. City with Ederson in goal. And they've just kicked off at Anfield, I've been told, in the second half. So round about less than a minute behind us. So the back four now for Manchester City: Cancelo, Stones, Laporte and Zinchenko, Rodri, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Jesus and Foden. And Villa, as they started, Olsen in goal, making his Aston Villa debut, with Martinez out with a knee problem. Cash, Chambers, Mings and Digne, Douglas Luiz, McGinn and Ramsey, Buendia, Coutinho and central striker Ollie Watkins. Danny Ings on the bench. City coming forward down the left-hand side. Crosses swung in, cleared away by Douglas Luiz on the edge of the box. Manchester City in the sky blue, playing from left to right unusually here at the Etihad in the second half, against the all-black kit with the white trim of Aston Villa. Throw-in for City on the right-hand side, taken by Cancelo. De Bruyne plays it across. Bernardo Silva just forward of the centre circle. Olsen has not yet had a save to make. Zinchenko with the cross, and the cross is caught comfortably by Olsen. He's done plenty of that, but he's not yet had a save to make. So back to Anfield. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Second half underway just a little bit later than new. Canate with a possible nudge in the back on Tito there. Wolves appealing for a penalty. The decision is not given. James Milner has come on for Thiago. Wolves have had to make a change in goal. John Ruddy is on for the injured Jose Sarr. If Liverpool can score the next goal in this game, John, ...
Yes, that would mean that Liverpool would be on course to win the title. But Manchester City have started strongly in the second half. Foden plays it through. Jesus, left side of the area, pulls it back, flicked across by Foden, headed away, and then on the follow-up, De Bruyne, but underneath it, and the ball sails away over the crossbar. Snatched at it a little, Kevin De Bruyne. Goal kick, Aston Villa, and the crowd up the volume here. 1-0 Villa lead. There has been an opening goal at Leicester. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Leicester, put out the flags. It was a mistake by Lianzo, dallied too long, Vardy dipped in, parried by the keeper, and Maddison following up made it Leicester 1, Southampton 0, from one nail biter to another, John.
Well, there has been another goal in the West Ham match at Brighton. Chris Coles.
Equaliser for Brighton. Terrific start for the second half for the home side. Joel Veltman's first of the season, arriving late to the back post to power past Lucas Fabianski. That goal drops West Ham out of the Europa League places. 1-1.
Yeah, so Manchester United, with the scorelines as they are, would finish in 6th where they started the day. 1-0, Aston Villa continue to lead. Manchester City dominating the possession in the second half. Grealish and Sterling are among the substitutes. You would think, Leon Osman, that we would see them at some stage if it stays like this for a period of time, but City playing it around nicely, around the edge of the Villa penalty area. Mahrez across from him to Rodri, and then Rodri works it out to the left to the substitute Zinchenko, and the Ukrainian leans forward and chests it down, plays it back to Bernardo Silva. He puts his foot on the ball. Zinchenko again, dummies to cross, beats Cash, goes on a run into the penalty area, still going Zinchenko, then drags it back and plays it with his right foot. Jesus couldn't get there. Defender crucially came across. It was Luca Digne to clear it away just as Jesus was about to shoot.
Yeah, sensational defended from Luca Digne, just spotting the pass that Zinchenko was about to make. It was brilliant from Zinchenko, dropped his shoulder really well, great close control on the run, and it nearly opened up for City, but brilliant defending.
Cancelo now crossing right to the back post, and it slid over the top of the bar. What an opportunity for Jesus. Full stretch, feet first, but couldn't keep the shot down, and it was wide and over.
Yeah, got to score, he really does. It's brilliant from City that now they've got full-backs on each side with naturally that foot to deliver crosses in behind the Aston Villa defence. They look a lot better, and it's Cancelo, drops his shoulder, whips it across, about 4 yards out, and he's inside the far post is Jesus, and he goes with his right foot, outside of his right foot rather than his left, and he just doesn't keep it underneath the crossbar. Big chance City.
And you're right, Leon, suddenly that it feels like they do have the punch that they were missing in the first half, and what a run that was from Zinchenko as well, who was criticised for his performance at West Ham last weekend, but positive here. De Bruyne back to Foden across the edge of the penalty area. Here is Jesus, shrugged off that latest miss, and then Rodri with a shot, but I think caught it slightly with the outside of his boot, and it was wide and straight to Anfield. Alistair Bruce ball.
I think the noise tells you everything. Sadio Mane has his second goal of the game. Oh, it's offside. The flag's up. The video assistant referee will have to have a look at this. It was a lovely, clever little through ball in between the Wolves defenders. A delightful, exquisite chip finish from Sadio Mane, but the goal, as it stands, has been ruled out. Offside flag has gone up. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1, and Anthony Taylor blows the whistle. We get back underway, and I can see it now. Mane offside. Sorry about that.
Oh, what a twist that was. Another twist. And it stays as it was. Manchester City will be winning the title on goal difference. And here the City pressure continuing, Villa blocks continuing, and it is still 1-0 to the visitors, Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa.
Yeah, and he'll be really pleased with how his side are performing defensively, how much commitment they're showing. People question teams on the last day of the season when there's seemingly not an awful lot to play for. Well, Villa being very committed in this game.
Absolutely they have. And here they come again with the former Liverpool man Coutinho on the left-hand side. Will become a Villa player on a permanent basis in the summer. Currently on loan from Barcelona, wins a throw-in down the left-hand side. So currently Manchester City winning the title on goal difference. Tottenham are finishing 4th with the scores as they are. Manchester United finishing above West Ham. Manchester United would be in 6th. And with the scores as they are, it is Burnley who are being relegated because they're losing at home to Newcastle, and it's still Brentford 0, Leeds 0. City supporters trying to urge their team on, but it's Villa who are attacking down the left-hand side. Buendia trying to give it back to Digne, who was suggesting that he was blocked by Jesus, but referee Oliver's having none of that. It is a goal kick to Manchester City.
Yeah, not an awful lot in that. What else Manchester City have done? I spoke at half-time that Aston Villa were playing with 2 number 10s either side of Rodri, and was making it very difficult for him, and Aston Villa were doing well because of it, where Bernardo Silva's dropped alongside Rodri, and they're playing more like a 2 with Kevin De Bruyne ahead of them in this second half, and it's just given them those passing lanes back. They've become a lot more easier and a lot more comfortable with those passing lanes because of it.
Cancelo now swinging an early cross in from the right-hand side. Chambers came across, got to it first, and the ball actually disappeared from our line of sight above the overhang in front of us, and then appears down in the in the right corner, in amongst all of those sky blue shirts. A couple of beach balls bobbing around in there as well. City with the throw. Cancelo is going to take this. De Bruyne gives it back to him, and then De Bruyne again, his ball into the area, headed away by Mings. Rodri square to Bernardo Silva. Zinchenko making the run, and Zinchenko drives it across. It was deflected. Cash was there, and it's bounced out for a corner to Manchester City, their first of the second half. It's half time in the FA Trophy as City play the ball in. Stones was after it, the ball loops in the air, but it's caught by Olsen. There was a defender with John Stones who was able to do enough to put him off, and the ball just looped into the air and it was caught by Olsen.
Yeah, just for a moment you thought everything had parted for John Stones to get onto the end of that cross, but Alan Chambers just spotted it.
Olsen, long ball downfield, Laporte struggling to get to Watkins, and Watkins has screwed the shot wide, but the offside flag was up in any case, and it would not have counted if Watkins had been able to find the net in any case.
Yeah, well, I'm sure VAR would have looked back, because actually, seeing the replay, he was in his own half, so it probably would have been given. That is a clear chance for Aston Villa, one-on-one, a little bit of pressure from Laporte as he was trying his best not to foul Ollie Watkins, but he just hit his chance into the ground, pulled it wide, big let-off for City.
Currently, the goal difference advantage that Manchester City have with the scorelines as they are is +5. Free kick to Manchester City in the left-back position, but a penalty at Brentford in the Leeds match. John Akers.
And it's for Leeds United. Rafinha brought down by Raya just after they'd missed a brilliant chance, Leeds. Rodrigo should have scored just a few moments before. This is right by the Leeds fans, 2,000 of them in the corner. Some of them can't look, some of them have turned the other way. This could be a penalty to keep Leeds in the Premier League. Burnley, of course, trailing at home to Newcastle 1-0. It's Brentford 0, Leeds 0. 55 minutes gone. Rafinha stands with his hands on his hips on the edge of the 18-yard box. Raya in pink is bouncing around. Here comes Rafinha, little steps, left-footed, and scores! A goal which could keep Leeds up. Brentford 0, Leeds 1. Absolute scenes in the away end.
And with Leeds winning 1-0 against Brentford, Burnley have got to turn their match around. If Leeds win, Burnley have got to win to stay up, and they're losing at home to Newcastle. Here, still Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1. It's still Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. We've had more City pressure. We've had a De Bruyne free kick from the right that was whipped across the penalty area, but the Villa goal continues to survive unscathed. And to Burnley, Mas Farouki.
News of that penalty for Leeds starting to filter through here, John. Newcastle, though, could have had a second. Nathan Collins, who handballed for the penalty, which gave Newcastle the lead, almost directing the ball into his own net. Burnley have also made a change, by the way. Wout Weghorst is on instead of Connor Roberts. Mike Jackson twisting straight away in the second half, but it hasn't made the difference yet. Still Burnley 0, Newcastle 1.
And City have made a change as well. Their second change, Sterling is on for Mahrez. Leon, I felt it wouldn't be long before we'd see him. Grealish as well, I suspect.
Well, City do have an awful lot of options, and it's Raheem Sterling Pep Guardiola has turned to at the moment. Got great pace to get in behind Luca Dean. He's gone right onto that right-hand side, right up against the Villa left-back, and I'd expect to see him try and challenge him, get him behind, be on the end of some of these crosses, because City have had an awful lot of crosses, but not got anybody on the end of them for the tap-in.
That's Leon Osman of Everton and England. And we're watching Manchester City come forward, and here is Sterling now into the action for the first time, but Mings comes across and blocks it behind for a corner to Manchester City. A goal at Arsenal, Jonathan Overend.
2 goals as Arsenal take a 4-1 lead against Everton. Cedric Suarez got the third, and Gabriel has got the fourth. Gabriel, incidentally, has now scored more goals this season than Aubameyang and Lacazette. 4-1 Arsenal.
Thank you, Jonathan. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1, but it doesn't change anything. Tottenham are winning 2-0 at Norwich and finishing 4th. De Bruyne swinging the ball in from the right-hand side. Mings got his head to it and cleared it away. This is a strong defensive display that we're watching from Aston Villa, and there's frustration. Kevin De Bruyne pulled up for a push, and it's a free kick to Aston Villa. So still Manchester City, despite losing, are just edging it in terms of the title. Back to Anfield, Alistair Bruce Ball.
If Liverpool need a goal, who are you going to call? He's roared onto the field. The Egyptian king Mo Salah enters the fray. Just over half an hour to play. Let's not forget, if Liverpool get the next goal in this game, Manchester City all of a sudden are going to need 2. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. Again, a lot of Liverpool pressure in this second half, and Wolves defenders throwing their bodies in the way of shots. The latest from Diogo Jota has been blocked. Jota off, Salah on. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1.
Fascinating. With us on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the World Service. It feels, Leon, like either Liverpool or Manchester City are going to score before too long. Question is, who'll get it? Here's Cancelo playing it through, but overhits that for Sterling. No chance of reaching that, and it's through for a goal kick.
Yeah, Cancelo's done that quite a number of times today. Misplaced his passes, overhit a few passes, made the wrong decisions, which is completely unlike him. Usually so reliable from those positions of them narrow fullbacks. He usually dominates the game, but whether it be with a couple of his passes or quite often decision to shoot, just seems off the pace.
Half-time in the FA Trophy final at Wembley. Wrexham 0, Bromley 0. Congratulations to Newport Pagnell winning the FA Vase earlier. You might be some of their supporters heading back, listening to all of this excitement in the Premier League. One day Newport Pagnell, all this could be yours. Here comes City with Bernardo Silva on the halfway line. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton will be taking your calls on 5 Live in 6:06 after 7 o'clock. Full sports report to wrap everything up before that. And City with Jesus trying to take the ball on, but Ollie Watkins just rather clumsily brought him down, and it's a free kick to Manchester City. But back to Burnley because Maz Faruqi.
Newcastle have a second goal, John, a second for Callum Wilson today. It was a simple tap-in. I don't know what the Burnley defence were doing. They were in all sorts of bother. It was completely unmarked. Burnley 0, Newcastle 2.
De Bruyne takes the free kick in, curls it teasingly, and Villa Chambers was just able to get a foot to it to steer it behind for another City corner.
And De Bruyne's got his arms in the air, asking his teammates where they were. 3 Villa defenders in there to clear it, not one City player in. It was a brilliant ball, asking for someone to get on the end of.
Very good question, Leon. And here's the latest corner, which is easily headed away. Buendia got up, little Buendia to head it away, and the referee spotted something. It's a Villa player who's down, hurt, just outside the 6-yard box, so we will have a little stoppage. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 1. So Burnley 2-0 down, and all of a sudden it feels like Burnley have got an awful lot to do in the next half hour or so to stay in the Premier League, and Leeds would be safe with you, John Akers, at Brentford.
And that news of the Newcastle goal has filtered through to the Leeds fans in the corner. It's Brentford 0, Leeds 1. Jubilant scenes in the corner.
So Leeds would be staying up. Back to Tottenham's match at Norwich, Lee Blakeman.
Oh, Kulusevski scored a screamer to wrap up Champions League football for Spurs. What a strike from the edge of the area, top corner, Norwich 0, Tottenham 3.
And here's Coutinho inside the Manchester City box, but Laporte's able to come across and put the challenge in, and he's played it off Coutinho and through for a goal kick.
He's given a goal kick, but I didn't think it was, in my opinion. Paul Laporte just kept his eye on the ball and just toe poked it off the outstretched boot of Coutinho. I thought Laporte was lucky. He seemed very clumsy in his attempt to win the ball off Watkins 2 or 3 seconds before.
Not enough for a penalty though, which I think was what Villa were half thinking about. But Villa still lead by 1-0. When they come forward though with Watkins and Coutinho and Buendia out there is a threat. So this match and the title race is very, very finely poised. Currently it's Manchester City's, but anything could happen in the next half hour. Here's Cancelo playing the ball back in field to Stones. Stones now just carrying the ball forward. Rodri looks up, decides to take it on a little and then lifts a ball high, but that's beyond anyone. And it bounces. Actually, I'm not sure it's gone out of play. It has gone out of play. It's rolled out. De Bruyne picks it up, chases after it, and hurls it underarm back to Villa to take the goal kick. But they're in no hurry, of course.
No, they're not, because they're defending really well. They're playing from a good shape. They're quite comfortable. I'm not seeing many teams come to the Etihad and thwart Man City the way Aston Villa have so far today. Maybe it's because for one of the few occasions Man City are playing with an actual number 9. Jesus has played right through the middle up against Mings and Chambers, and those positions City usually get into flood the extra man, that false 9, they haven't had today.
Still Manchester City search for the equalising goal, but Villa are now on the break looking for a second of their own, and Ramsey plays it through for Watkins, who must be offside. There's no flag yet. Olsen comes out, and then eventually the flag, and that's just frustrated the home supporters, and I can understand why. And Marvellous Nakamba is going to come on shortly for Philippe Coutinho. Not sure if I mentioned that Tyrone Mings was booked earlier in the half, around about 5 minutes ago, for pulling back an opponent. City lose it again. There's that edginess again. Pass from De Bruyne, doesn't find Sterling, and it's out for a throw to Villa.
That's just so unlike Manchester City, and Kevin De Bruyne just named Player of the Season. So sloppy, so unlike him. No real pressure. Yes, Mings was offering a slight bit of pressure, but certainly wouldn't expect him to kick the ball out 3 or 4 yards off target for a player of his quality.
It's a real test now of mentality, and so often, time and time again. You know, I've mentioned it before, Liverpool talk about the mentality monsters, but I think Manchester City are right on a par with them from in that quality. And Gundogan is going to come on very shortly, actually, for Manchester City. City with it on the left-hand side. Here's Rodri. Foden has gone down on the far side. Rodri swings the ball from left to right. Sterling, 3 goals in his last 2 appearances, although he was an unused substitute at West Ham last weekend. Sterling faces the play and plays it forward to Cancelo, now at right back, but he's dispossessed. And Douglas Luiz just whacks it away downfield. A fortunate bounce to Coutinho in the centre circle. Coutinho then forward to Watkins to his left. Coutinho continues to make his run, but that pass from Watkins was way behind him. And Zinchenko easily headed it back to goalkeeper Ederson. So still Villa lead here in Manchester. And is it still all square at Anfield? Alistair Bruce Ball.
It is. Liverpool still need that goal to get themselves in front, to try and get their noses in front in the title race. They've been cranking up the pressure. Latest effort, a long ranger from Trent Alexander-Arnold. John Ruddy throwing himself to his left to make the save. Salah on the rebound, dinking over the bar from a tight angle. Steven Gerrard's name clearly being sung around the stands from time to time. I'm sure that doesn't surprise you. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1.
Well, Steven Gerrard's team are doing their bit. It's Liverpool who are not doing what they had to do. City come forward. Jesus, lovely turn, and shoots, but it's blocked by Chambers. It's round about the same point where he scored against Real Madrid in the thrilling 4-3. But Chambers did what Real Madrid couldn't and blocked it. But here come City again with Foden on the left-hand side. Pulls it back, Zinchenko, lovely touch. Jesus back to Zinchenko, and Buendia managed to get himself in between Zinchenko and the ball. Clever from Buendia, and Villa clear.
Yeah, they've got so many numbers back there, Manchester City, and they always try and be so intricate with their play that sometimes they've just got to shoot. It might go through the legs of a defender, it might take a ricochet.
Rodri's upended by Coutinho. He was carrying the ball into the penalty area, and Coutinho just threw himself into him. And such a clumsy challenge and a free kick. And City with a free kick now, left of centre, just outside the box, a couple of yards.
Yeah, that was it, clumsy. You can see how hard he was working to get back in and defend. Just thought he could nick it, and Rodri just got his feet in between Coutinho and the ball. Happy to accept the foul, and it's a free kick in a very dangerous position when you've got the quality that Manchester City have.
Manchester City then with a chance here, set piece, free kick, De Bruyne to take it. Steven Gerrard was going to make that change, bringing on Nakamba, but it hasn't happened yet, and Nakamba's just sitting down again. Gundogan still waiting to come on. But big moment this, big moment in the match, big moment in the title race. Villa with the wall lined up, they've got a man behind it. De Bruyne strikes and it dips, but it dips beyond the far top corner and behind, and it's a goal kick to Aston Villa. And it is back to Norwich-Tottenham. Lee Blakeman.
Game over. Son has his goal. Could have had a hat-trick. Finally has one. Great tap-in. Norwich 0, Tottenham 4.
Off comes Bernardo Silva. On comes Gundogan. And that means Son draws alongside Salah in the race for the Golden Boot this season. They've both got 22 Premier League goals.
And the remarkable thing about Son is he doesn't take penalty kicks. So it's incredible tally that he's managed this season.
Well, that's it in terms of the substitutions, Leon. There'll be no Jack Grealish against his old club in this match. Gundogan is on, and it's Villa coming forward, and Coutinho with a chance. Coutinho scores! It's the Liverpool man of old who scores the goal to give Steven Gerrard's team a 2-0 lead here against Manchester City. What a shock this is to Pep Guardiola and to the Etihad. And now it's in Liverpool's hands. If they can turn that match around, at Anfield and win it, it'll be Liverpool's title. And let's go there to Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Well, you can hear that news is going round the ground like wildfire at the moment. Fans screaming at the players, come on, come on. Former Liverpool man Philippe Coutinho has done them a massive favour. Mo Salah minutes ago got played through one-on-one against John Ruddy, got the ball caught between his feet. We've seen him score so many goals from that position. He couldn't take the chance. Bolly got back to make the sliding tackle, but the Liverpool fans know, I think the Liverpool players now know, Liverpool won, Wolves won, but Manchester City 2-0 down. Liverpool, if they can get the goal, if they can get in front, then the Premier League title will be in their hands, because then Manchester City would need 3 goals. Liverpool won, Wolves won. Liverpool have the ball inside their own half. James Milner slowly bringing it forward for them. Strokes the pass with his right foot out to Mo Salah. Fans, as you'd expect, on the edge of their seats. Salah down the line to Alexander-Arnold. Into the penalty area. Drives with his left foot. Brilliant block by Bolly. The whole of Anfield goes up for a handball. But Anthony Taylor had a good view and he only gives the corner. Liverpool are going to take this quickly. After that, we are going to head to Turf Moor. Last we heard, Burnley 0, Newcastle 2. So Burnley have a load of work to do to try and keep themselves in the Premier League before the corner's taken. Liverpool are going to make another attacking change. Roberto Firmino is coming on here for Naby Keita. Trent Alexander-Arnold is waiting to take the corner. He's got the ball tucked underneath his left arm. Places it on the quadrant. That famous corner he took in the Champions League semi-final against Barcelona a few seasons ago from this very position. He is taking every care over this. In front of the Kop, Manchester City 2-0 down. Have they blown the title on the final day? Can Liverpool find the goal? In it comes. It clears everyone inside the penalty area. Mas Faruqi, what's happened at Turf Moor?
There's life in Burnley yet, Ali. Maxwell Cornet has pulled a goal back for Burnley. He lashed in the rebound after Dubravka shaved a shot. There was absolutely no chance he was going to miss the rebound. He powered it in. Burnley 1, Newcastle 2.
Thank you, Maz. So Burnley with some fights in them, but Leeds, of course, ahead at Brentford. Burnley need to match that result. Liverpool have some defending to do here at Anfield. Hwang drives a shot and Alisson sticks a big arm up, gets a touch to it and palms it over the crossbar, and behind it goes for a corner. Goal at Leicester, Pat Murphy.
Second to Leicester, Jamie Vardy, classic counter-attack, good work by Barnes, held it up, Vardy beat his man, finished clinically. Leicester 2, Southampton 0.
Thank you, Pat. Corner then for Wolves. They are taking their time. The urgency has to be Liverpool's here. Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. They went behind early on. Sadio Mane got them the equaliser, and now they find themselves in a position, starting very much as the underdogs on the final day in this title race, find themselves in the position where a goal could win them a 20th top flight title. The quadruple could still be on, but they've got to defend this corner first. Former Liverpool defender Stephen Warnock now sitting alongside me here at Anfield. In it comes to the Liverpool area, headed away. Ruben Neves outside of his right foot. Alisson comes to claim it. Stephen Warnock, we have an incredible 20 minutes ahead of us now. Yeah, and the great thing is that there is 20 minutes because Firmino's on the break, trying to find Salah on the right. Neves intercepts. Yeah, they've just got to be patient, Liverpool, and that 20 minutes will allow them to be patient. Wrong decision from Roberto Firmino there was a great opportunity, 3v3 situation for Liverpool, but Wolves look so dangerous on the counter, Ali.
Yeah, as they have done all afternoon. So if you are just tuning in, where on earth have you been? But Manchester City are 2-0 down at home to Aston Villa. Former Liverpool man Philippe Coutinho has scored the second goal there. So we're in a situation, if Liverpool can win this game, City would need 3 goals in just over 15 minutes to try and turn things around. John Murray's at the Etihad Stadium.
Yes, it's preposterously poised, isn't it? Manchester City losing 2-0 at home to Aston Villa, but still winning the title on goal difference. City look rattled, I must say. They've made more chances, they've created more. De Bruyne, though, off balance, hit the shot over the top of the crossbar, and Villa lead through those goals from Cash and, of course, Coutinho. Manchester City 0, Aston Villa 2.
Thank you, John. We knew that we would have drama on 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds this afternoon, wherever it was going to come in the table. We didn't think it was necessarily going to come this way in the title race. So, Villa 2-0 up at Manchester City. Liverpool here at Anfield in front of rabid fans, Liverpool fans, who are well aware of what lies in front of them if their team can find this second goal in the game. But here come Wolves again. Neves is 30 yards out, curling cross towards Hwang, heads it wide, good 5 yards wide, but again Wolves looking dangerous. A goal at Carrow Road, another goal at Carrow Road. Lee Blakeman.
Another one for Son to quite possibly win him the Golden Boot. What a moment. Norwich 0, Tottenham 5.
Yeah, least of Liverpool's concerns at the moment. Son Heung-min will be absolutely delighted with that. Mo Salah is out on the field. He now finds himself a goal behind. Maybe he could level it. The more important thing is, if he finds that goal, it could well win Liverpool the title. Jurgen Klopp looks relatively calm at the moment. Hands behind his back, watching from the side of the pitch. 16 minutes to play, and it is Liverpool 1, Wolves 1. Roberto Firmino is on the field, making a run from the left-hand side. He's tackled. Neves brings the ball away for Wolves. Firmino lets him go. Raul Jimenez, the flag stays down. He's away from Konate. Jimenez into the penalty area. Ball comes across. It's just beyond Hwang, who would have had an open goal had he been able to get to that cross. And it goes out for a Liverpool throw on the right. And the flag stays down as well, Stephen Warnock. We're going back to the Etihad Stadium. John Murray.
I think they headed in. Manchester City have got on the score sheet through Ilkay Gundogan. It's a goal back, created by Sterling on the right. Chipped in and arriving there was the German to head it down and in. And it's now Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 2. Still City are behind, and still they're winning the title on goal difference, Leon.
Yeah, it could be a crucial moment for Manchester City. That brilliant from Raheem Sterling, just got the ball on the right hand side. I said that would be a crucial battle in this second half. He just gets 1v1 with Luca Dean, drops his shoulder, gets the ball, I hung it up, and for once in this game it went over the outstretched hands of Olsen. He couldn't reach one of those Manchester City crosses, and Gundogan right on cue. Great header, back post. City back in this game.
So for the second consecutive Sunday in the Premier League, Manchester City trying to come back from 2-0 down, and they're already on the comeback trail now. Ball downfield, Sterling, he goes down. He had Mings and Digne either side of him. No free kick given by Michael Oliver, and Manchester City have got it back inside their own half. It's brilliantly poised. The afternoon's Premier League drama here. Mings now challenging for the ball on the dead ball line. Jesus with him, and the ball's bounced behind, and it is a corner to Manchester City from the right. We'll be back to Anfield in a moment or two, where it's still 1-1. De Bruyne, though, with this corner, which Stones gets to and heads down, but wide of goal, and in any case Olsen was able to drop to his right and save it.
Oh, I think he should have done better. It was a brilliant leap by John Stones. Great ball, really hung up towards that back post, probably 8 to 9 yards out, and as he arrives, he thinks he's going to head it over, so he's just trying to cushion it rather than go for real power, and in doing so it's a really tame effort that Olsen finds easy to gather.
There have been more goals at Leicester, where it is now 3-1. James Ward-Prowse with a penalty for Southampton, but then Perez restoring Leicester's 2-goal lead. We're into the last 15 minutes of this Premier League season. It looks like Burnley are going down and Leeds are staying up. Tottenham, it seems, are safe in fourth. Champions League football for them next season, but we don't know which way the title's going to go. And now Rodri, edge of the area, scores right-footed, the ball into the bottom corner, and it's 2-2. Manchester City coming up with 2 goals in 3 minutes, and now City are back on course for the title. And the Etihad breathes a sigh of relief. It's not quite in the balance anymore.
Wow, where has this Manchester City team been for the first 75, 78 minutes of this game? Because this team now is completely different. They've got impetus, they've got confidence. Zinchenko's made a massive difference in this second half, and it's him who creates the goal. He cuts down that left-hand side, cuts back in, and for once he picks the right pass. He sees Rodri on the edge of the penalty area, completely unmarked, rolls it into his path, and right on cue, confidently, very assured finish, side foot into that front post. Olsen full stretch, can't get to it, and that's the game back alive for City.
So both matches are level. Manchester City 2, Aston Villa 2, and still Liverpool 1, Wolves 1, which means that Manchester City are winning the title by 1 point. Could yet change though, Alistair, Bruce Ball at Anfield?
Yeah, it doesn't change things too much for Liverpool in terms of this game, because they're going to need to win it. If Manchester City draw that game and Liverpool win, Liverpool will win the title. The buoyant mood has been dampened somewhat around the stands by news of those 2 City goals, but bottom line is Liverpool need to find a goal here. 12 minutes to do it.
If Manchester City draw this match, Liverpool would have to win to be champions. But as the scores are right now, Manchester City are winning the title by 1 point. Rodri thought he was in again, Leon there, but went for goal from the edge of the area and hit it high over the bar.
Yeah, well, whenever Manchester City have managed to get in behind this Villa defence, that's when they look the most dangerous, and he does. He runs from deep, gets in behind, but chose the wrong option when he got there.
Back to Brentford, John Akers.
Equaliser for Brentford. Canos off the bench, headed back across Meslier. If Brentford get one more, or Burnley get one more, Leeds are down. They've just won a free kick. It's Brentford 1, Leeds 1.
Leeds are not as safe anymore, but they are still staying up, because it is still Burnley 1, Newcastle 2, and Burnley have got to, Leeds have got to better Burnley's result to stay up. 10 minutes to go. Manchester City still edging the title, but really it could change in the twinkling of an eye. But it feels like City suddenly have got momentum. Pep Guardiola was on the pitch. He had to be reminded that he had to step off it. De Bruyne into the area on the right, shoots across, it's in! Gundogan again! And Manchester City have turned it all the way around, and now City are getting the win they need to retain the Premier League title. Amazing! 3 goals in the space of 6 minutes, and that is the mark of what Manchester City are. They're heading for the title again. Brilliant stuff. 3-2 Manchester City.
Oh, they just continue to believe, Manchester City. They continue to push forward, creating opportunities. Kevin De Bruyne steps inside that penalty. His first touch is magnificent, drops his shoulder on Tyrone Mings, and probably, if anything, mishits a shot, scuffs a shot across the middle of the 6-yard box. But right on cue, there's Jesus at the back post. Oh no, it's Gundogan at the back post with the outside of his right foot finished, running away in delight. I thought I'd seen it all at Goodison Park on Thursday night. Coming from 2-0 behind to 3-2 ahead, and I think this is even more incredible.
Wild celebrations, the coaching staff ran on the pitch. Some spectators did actually, but the stewards are wise to this, and the stewards, the 1 or 2 people who came on the ground, the stewards caught them and took them away. And now Villa are making a change, and it is Ramsey who is coming off, and Danny Ings who's coming on for Villa. So Steven Gerrard sends on Danny Ings, but City are getting the win they need, and if they win, there's nothing Liverpool can do to alter the destination of this Premier League title. Let's go back to the West Ham match at Brighton. Chris Coles.
A scoreline to please Brighton and Manchester United fans. They lead 2-1. A fine Pascal Gross finish from the angle of the penalty area. 2-1 Brighton.
Brentford, there's been a red card with you, John Akers.
And it's a red card for Brentford. So Leeds playing against 10 men, 7 minutes plus added time. Brentford 1, Leeds 1. Brentford down to 10 men. Canos with 2 yellows.
Arsenal now winning by 5-1 against Everton. Odegaard with the latest one for Arsenal, but because Tottenham are winning handsomely at Norwich 5-0, it's Tottenham who are finishing 4th. Villa, I mean, they've been hit. They have been hit by Manchester City here. And I mentioned the mentality, Leon. 74th minute, Manchester City are 2-0 down here, and Liverpool are 1 goal away from snatching the title. Now, really, in a matter of minutes, Manchester City have changed the mood and the feeling and the match completely.
It's just incredible what momentum can do for a team. They just hadn't been at the races for, as you said, pretty much every minute of the game. And then suddenly they get 1 goal, the crowd comes alive, the momentum, the confidence in the players. They were quick to get the ball back onto the halfway line, get the game underway. They felt it was there for them. They knew it was a possibility to get back into the game so quickly. And that's exactly what they've done.
Watford have equalised at Stamford Bridge. It's 1-1. Dan Gosling back to Anfield. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Manchester City are going to need to win that game. Incredible comeback, yes, but Liverpool now in front. Mo Salah from very close range has stabbed the ball over the line. Joel Matip's header was blocked on the line. I wonder whether that had initially crossed the line or even whether there was a handball. Play continued. Salah stabbed it home. Liverpool lead Wolves now by 2-1. It's only enough, though, to win the title if Villa can get another goal with you.
Yes, so currently Manchester City, with them both winning now, Manchester City are winning it by 1 point. And Ederson coming to the edge of his area to make a comfortable catch. Back to the Leeds match at Brentford. John Akers.
Brentford 1, Leeds 1, 6 minutes to go, but Brentford are down to 9 men. Ayers had to go off injured. They'd already used all 3 subs, and Leeds are pouring forward. Brentford 1, Leeds 1.
So Manchester City currently are winning the title, but just by 1 point. 1 Aston Villa goal here would change everything again, and Liverpool would be on course for the title. But currently, Manchester City will be champions. Tottenham are getting 4th, that looks certain. Manchester United currently finishing 6th, ahead of West Ham in 7th, and Burnley are being relegated and Leeds United are staying up. Those are the main pieces of information that you need to know. 6:06 coming up from 7 o'clock with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Match of the day tonight on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast in the morning. Kevin De Bruyne has been caught by Nakamba and has gone down clutching his the right side of his ankle, and that's a yellow card for Nakamba. Back to Anfield, Alistair Bruce Ball.
Still Liverpool 2, Wolves 1, out of Liverpool's hands at the moment with Manchester City ahead. Real confusion spreading around the stadium 2 minutes ago. I don't know where, but somehow I think they got word that Aston Villa had scored a goal. Anfield absolutely erupted. They took off everyone on their feet, celebrating as if they'd already won the title. It's very quickly quietened down. People getting overexcited, John. Liverpool 2, Wolves 1.
Well, it's good to know that still happens, even in the age of apps and whatnot. Foden on the left-hand side. So Manchester City, it feels like they're very much on the front foot still, City. But the concern for them is that Villa get another goal. But City doing almost what they only know to do, and that is come forward. And Ilkay Gundogan's on a hat-trick. Here's De Bruyne. De Bruyne 22 yards out, plays it to the right-hand side to Sterling. We have 3 minutes plus added time to play. Sterling now on the right-hand side, dummies to cross, and then finds the arriving Kevin De Bruyne, stumbles inside the penalty area, the ball bounces behind, and it's a goal kick to Aston Villa.
What an influence. You talk about Ilkay Gundogan being on a hat-trick, and you're being sent on as a substitute to try and influence the game and change it, and within moments you've scored 2 goals. what an influence he's had on the second half, as has Raheem Sterling and Zinchenko. All three subs have been brilliant for Pep Guardiola. He's done exactly what he's wanted. Go on, make a difference in the team, go and change momentum for us. I think he'd wish he had one more at the moment, because John Stones is really struggling with cramp back there defensively. Rodri's trying to help him out at the moment.
Yeah, one or two Manchester City supporters, even in all of this excitement, are not forgetting to boo the former Manchester United man Ashley Young when he's come onto the field to replace Buendia, and Villa coming forward, and City have got to keep them out at the back, and Rodri just gets there to clear it in the D, and Gundogan plays it to the left-hand side. So both Manchester City and Liverpool winning now, but if Manchester City were to concede and this was to be a draw, it would be Liverpool's title. But City are on course. Foden down the left-hand side, crosses into the penalty area, but that's cleared away by Villa. Comes back to the edge of the penalty area. De Bruyne might have been fouled, he was. And it's all over at Carrow Road, where it's ended Norwich City 0, Tottenham 5. And so Tottenham will finish 4th in the Premier League and will play in the Champions League again next season. We've still got several minutes to play in this gripping title race, and it's been quite an afternoon. But Manchester City have a free kick. City can get another one, then I think we could say that the title is coming here again. They actually take the free kick out towards the left-hand side, and it's been taken to the corner flag by Foden and Gabriel Jesus, and they have been forced to concede a throw-in down there. Back to Anfield, Alistair Bruce Ball.
Andy Robertson scored in the 89th minute. Liverpool are going to win this game. They lead Wolves by 3-1. Manchester City cannot afford a slip. Incredible comeback from them this afternoon, but Liverpool are going to get 3 points. So Manchester City, it's down to them. Liverpool 3, Wolves 1.
Yeah, but Manchester City are looking to see this match out now. They've got the ball near the corner flag on the left-hand side. It's actually rolled out of play, and it's Aston Villa's ball. Let's go back to the West Ham match at Brighton. Chris Coles.
It'll be Europa Conference League football for West Ham now. Brighton 3, West Ham 1. Danny Welbeck heading in from a corner. Brighton 3, West Ham 1.
4 minutes of added time to go. Manchester City 4 minutes away from the title. With this scoreline, that will do it. Doesn't matter what else happens at Liverpool. If Manchester City see this out, and Ederson has sat down, he's nowhere near the action. The Manchester City goalkeeper is struggling with cramp. Foden's gone down with cramp as well, down the other end of the field.
Foden, I can understand. He's been incredible. The energy he showed in the second half has been brilliant. Continues to take the ball, taking the fight to Aston Villa at times, but Ederson sat down, seemingly stretching his hamstrings out, is more of a surprise.
No one's going to help him. John Stones has now seen that his goalkeeper needs some help. Chelsea have beaten Watford by 2-1, so that rubber stamps Chelsea's 3rd place finish in the Premier League this season. It was Ross Barkley who scored the late goal for Chelsea. So if you've just switched on, you've missed quite an afternoon. It has had some swings, certainly. But currently, Manchester City are heading for the title with this victory that they have, leading Aston Villa by 3-2. Tottenham have got 4th. That issue has been decided. Manchester United are finishing out of West Ham in 6th. And it looks like Leeds United are staying up. But let's go to Burnley. Maz Faruqi.
We're into 4 minutes of stoppage time here at Turf Moor. Burnley still trailing 1-2 to Newcastle. They're trying to find an equaliser. They're throwing everything they can at Newcastle, but they haven't found a way over the line yet. Still Burnley 1, Newcastle 2.
However, if Brentford could turn that match around against Leeds, so it's still in the balance. That has not been decided quite yet. Long stoppage here. Ederson has received treatment. Phil Foden likewise. And Ederson is still not happy. So still play has not resumed, so we can go to Arsenal. Jonathan Overend.
Full-time Arsenal 5, Everton 1, Martinelli and Nketiah, Cedric, Gabriel and Ødegaard for the home side, Van der Beek for Everton, who are safe, of course. Arsenal, well, came within 1 win of finishing in the top 4.
Yep, Tottenham finish 4th. Manchester City, play back underway. City just keeping the ball near the corner flag, away over on that far side, near the Aston Villa supporters. Villa led 2-0, but Manchester City are winning 3-2. And the goal's coming in a 6-minute spell. Manchester City with an absolute blitz to turn the match around.
Yeah, now they're doing exactly what they need to, keeping the ball in that far corner of the pitch. They've got the players to do it. Jesus has took a turn, Foden's took a turn, De Bruyne happy to take possession of the ball, dribble a little bit, maybe try and win a throw-in, win a set piece, a corner kick, because at the moment they're in a brilliant position.
Full-time whistle has gone at Brighton. West Ham have lost 3-1, so that is confirmation that they will finish in 7th place and be involved in the Europa Conference League next season. Manchester United are currently 1-0 down at Crystal Palace. Manchester City concede a throw. Villa need to get it down the other end for Liverpool's sake. Ball to the halfway line, but Stones comes across. Manchester City, there is a determination here not to let Aston Villa out of their own half. That's what they're trying to do for the remainder of this match. Who knows how much longer we've got to play. Almost 4 minutes of added time have gone, but we've had such a lengthy delay. Surely there would have to be 5 or 6 minutes of time added on. City have got the ball near the corner flag again. They've got it near the corner flag, and they're not going to let it away from there if they can help it. Villa win a throw. They take the throw across the penalty area. Pep Guardiola is saying, where is that final whistle? But still we play on. Douglas Luiz on the halfway line. Leeds are now leading by 2-1, and it looks as though Leeds will be safe in the Premier League. All of the coaches, Guardiola, are waving to the referee. They're waving to Michael Oliver, who's ignoring them. But that's it! There's the final whistle, and Villa's players run all across the Etihad pitch. Pep Guardiola is out there as well. He's mobbed with his coaches. There is a pitch invasion, I have to say. The stewards are doing their best. But Manchester City, they've been given an almighty scare here today by Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa team. And in the 74th minute, Aston Villa were winning 2-0, and it looked like the title might be heading to Anfield and to Liverpool. But Manchester City, with another superb demonstration of their mentality and their quality, came up with 3 goals to blitz Villa in 6 minutes, and that's enough to win the match and retain the title. Well done, Manchester City. 3-2 winners against Aston Villa, and now thousands of Manchester City supporters, even though they were asked not to, have poured onto the pitch, and let's hope that everyone out there is safe. Let's hope all of the Villa players, the police have actually made a ring here around the tunnel area, but that's where the players are now trying to get back to. You know, the concerning scenes, Leon Osman, after everything that's happened this week. But what a performance from Manchester City to come back and win this.
Well, what a show of mental strength. 2-0 behind, you're not playing very well. Chances are not coming as fluently as you'd like. But in a 6-minute period, as you said, if you summon your whole season up, they showed such quality, such desire, such hunger to get themselves back into the game, to get all those 3 goals. Momentum was incredible, and the celebrations have followed.
Well, I'm not sure where the players are out there. It's impossible to tell, because so many of the spectators are wearing sky blue shirts. There's one flag down to my right, which reads, it's a Manchester City flag with the crest in the middle, and it reads, fight to the end. That could not be more appropriate. And one by one, the Manchester City players are emerging. There's Rodri, who's just come through the crowd. Pep Guardiola didn't go out onto the pitch, so he's quite safe behind the police cordon. And Rodri now celebrates with his teammates down there as well. Pep Guardiola is still there, and there are 1 or 2 anxious looks out beyond the police cordon. And it's impossible to tell how many City players are still out there in the crowd.
Yeah, and Aston Villa ones too. You just can't see, such as the immense amount of people that have made their way onto the field. Slowly but surely, you're just seeing a player or 2 every now and again just emerge through the police barrier and through the police and steward cordon to get back and start celebrating with the manager and with the rest of their teammates.
Yeah, I hope those Villa players who were down on the floor when the final whistle went, and when all of the people came running on, I just hope they're all right out there, and they've been able to find some sanctuary, whether it's in the tunnel or in the area down to our right. So scenes of celebration here in Manchester, here inside the Etihad Stadium, with thousands of people on the pitch, lots of beach balls, lots of banners. Muchas gracias, Pep is another banner down there. And of course, the sky blue smoke bombs and the smell of them in the air. The appeal is here, please leave the pitch immediately, and the pitch will have to be cleared in order to have the celebration. But now Steven Gerrard is being taunted by the Manchester City supporters in their songs, but his team put up a heck of a fight today, and City had to dig deep, but they did. They've won the match, they've retained the title, 3-2 in the end.
Pep Guardiola was in tears at the end before he went down the tunnel. The trophy presentation to come during the next hour here on 5 Live. 08085 909 693 606 here at 7 o'clock with Robbie and Chris. Manchester City have won the title. Tottenham are in the top 4. They'll be in next season's Champions League. Arsenal and Manchester United in the Europa League. West Ham in the Europa Conference, and Burnley have been relegated. They were beaten at home by Newcastle, and Leeds won 2-1 at Brentford. It is absolute pandemonium at the Etihad. Contrast it with Anfield. Ali.
The Liverpool players have just trudged off the field. Liverpool have beaten Wolves by 3-1. Eventually they did what they needed to do this afternoon. They knew they needed to win the game to give themselves any chance. Funnily enough, Mark, I don't think there was actually any point in terms of that as it stands table when Liverpool actually had the title in their hands. Aston Villa were 2-0 up at Manchester City, but for so long here it was Liverpool 1, Wolves 1, and eventually when Mo Salah did get his goal in the 84th minute to get Liverpool 2-1 up, Manchester City were already 3-2 ahead. There was a brief moment of confusion inside the stadium with a couple of moments to go where I think someone had got word. It just shows you how quickly word travels. Someone had got word they thought that Aston Villa had got another goal. The whole place erupted as if Liverpool had the title in their hands. They never did. And I think, Mark, I mean, there's dejection, there's disappointment when that final whistle blew. They knew straight away they'd not done it. But immense pride. They will be coming back out for a lap of appreciation shortly. 92 points in this season. So a few seasons ago, they finished with 97 points and were pipped by 1. This time it's 92 points and they're pipped by 1. They've already won the League Cup. They've already won the FA Cup. The Liverpool fans well know there could be another amazing night on its way in a week's time. But I think the sort of overriding emotion feeling I will take away from this game, it was tantalisingly close this afternoon, Mark. When Aston Villa were 2-0 up, that sense of palpable excitement as the red shirts were swarming forward to try and find the goal, you really felt they might be able to pull it off this afternoon. In the end, they haven't. They'll come back out for the lap of appreciation. They have had an amazing season, Liverpool, but they have been pipped at the post by a very, very good team who have produced something quite stunning on the final day.
Let me just give you all the results in the Premier League on the final day. Arsenal 5, Everton 1, Brentford 1, Leeds 2, Brighton 3, West Ham 1, Burnley 1, Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2, Watford 1, Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 0, Leicester 4, Southampton 1, Liverpool 3, Wolves 1, Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 2, Norwich 0, Tottenham 5. There's 10 minutes to go at Wembley, by the way, in the FA Trophy final. Bromley lead Wrexham by 1-0. AC Milan are going to be crowned Serie A champions. They lead Sassuolo 3-0 at half-time. A win is enough to give them the title on the final day there. Their rivals for the title, Inter, being held at half-time 0-0 by Sampdoria. Tears aplenty at a dejected Turf Moor. They're down. Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, they really fluffed their lines here at Turf Moor Burnley today. Collins handballing in the air in the first half to hand Newcastle a penalty which Wilson converted. And Collins, just one of the players on the pitch as he was leaving in the last few minutes, in tears as well, being comforted by the club captain Ben Mee. Wilson then added a second with a simple tap in when he ran into the box unmarked an hour in. Maxwell Cornet pulled one back. He fired in a rebound 10 minutes later to make it 2-1. But Burnley really didn't show that fire, that urgency really going forward until that moment, really, until the last 20 minutes. It just left them with too much to do. Corney should have equalised in the 93rd minute. There were some other great chances as well, but by then Leeds were 2-1 up anyway. Burnley have lost, finished Burnley 1, Newcastle 2, and they will play in the Championship next season, Burnley.
And the tears at Burnley are in a real contrast to the away end at Brentford. John Akers.
It is party time in West London for these Leeds fans. All of the players, the staff, and even some members of the board are on the pitch in the corner, and the Leeds fans standing as one, many of them shirtless, twirling their shirts around their heads. They have been through it over the past month, but they are staying up. The story of the game, it was 1-0 Rafinha. Canos equalised, took his shirt off in the celebration, then got booked and was sent off. Then Ayer got injured. They went down to 9, and right at the death, Jack Harrison, 8th of the season, 90+4, half volley, edge of the box, and I can't tell you, it was just limbs in that corner. Incredible scenes, and the party continues. All the Brentford fans have stayed on the pitch, in the stands as well, rather. There was no pitch invasion. They're waiting for their players to do their lap of honour as the players move away from the corner now. Finish Brentford 1, Leeds 2, and Leeds stay up on the final day.
Let's go back to the Etihad. John Murray.
Well, the pitch is beginning to be cleared here. Scenes of celebration, of jubilation for the Manchester City supporters. Still, the tunnel area is ringed by a 3-deep line of stewards and police. So as far as we can tell, I think all of the players are safe. We've seen no suggestion that anyone's been hurt in the invasion, but I can tell you that supporters in the end to our right have climbed onto the crossbar and broken the crossbar. So it is standing there now at a crazy angle. There are still supporters there, and I think they're trying to do the same thing with the goal at the other end, but stewards have now stood in the way and trying to prevent them from doing that. So slowly but surely they are leaving the pitch, and then they'll be able to build the stage for the proper Manchester City celebrations as they were planned.
Okay, should be a good match of the day tonight. 10:30, BBC One. Alan Shearer, Ian Wright, Gary Lineker. Let's talk about the football. You all right, Alan?
Oh, how mad was that, chappers? What an afternoon. I mean, I was nervous, and I didn't really care who wins it. It was God knows what those supporters were going through, because that was one tense afternoon. It was incredible.
I was going to say, how do you explain looking sort of as if they were never going to break Aston Villa down for so long, and then 3 goals in 5 minutes and 36 seconds?
Well, you felt it. We're all saying they just need one, and then the rest will happen. And of course, once that first one went in, you could see their tails were up. The confidence was back, because they were pretty poor. You could tell it was really edgy, really nervous first half. But once they got that first goal, that was it. The shackles were off, and the belief was back, and the stadium was buzzing, and you just felt as if they were going to go on and get the goals. And of course, obviously, that's what they did. But what an unbelievable afternoon that was.
And to think, I mean, I've just seen this point made on social media as well. The last 2 weekends, Manchester City have come from 2 down to win the title, basically.
Yeah, it's been, unbelievable. What a team, what a season. I mean, what a standard of football that we've witnessed. A mentality that, you could see Pep was really nervous at half-time, even in the second half when they kicked off. He changed the personnel around, and what a man, what a manager, what a team. 4 out of the last 5. It is unbelievable what he's got at Manchester City, and Jurgen at Liverpool. I mean, it was so edgy for them as well at Anfield. So it was a brilliant afternoon for the neutral.
Okay, Statman Dave, even though he isn't here, still provides us with stats, Alan. Ilkay Gundogan, 100% of his passes completed, 100% of his aerial duels won, and a 66% shot accuracy with 2 goals from 3 attempts.
It's not bad, is it? It's not a bad afternoon for him. I'm pleased to know that Statman's still working, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still, he's still putting the effort in.
Yeah, he made the changes, Pep, and when you're putting some on, you want them to make a difference. That's why you're putting them on, and boy, did he make a difference.
Just a word on the relegation battle, where Burnley just gave themselves too much to do, didn't they, really?
Yeah, they did. Newcastle came out flying, got a couple of goals, and they found it really difficult, Burnley, to get back into the game. They missed one or two chances when Newcastle were tiring towards the end, but ultimately it hasn't worked for them. They haven't been good enough, and they've been punished.
Right, I'll leave you to it. You've probably got quite a lot of work to do.
Just a bit.
Crack on. Well done.
Cheers.
Tottenham have the final Champions League spot. Lee Blakeman.
They secured it in style as well. Great game. They won this one at Carrow Road by 5-0. 1 for Kane, 2 for Kulusevski, one of them an absolute worldie, and 2 for Son. One of those an absolute worldie. Those two leave Son on 23 for the season, level with Mo Salah for the golden boot, and he's just received the boot down pitch side. Has Son. Standing ovation from everybody in the away director's box here. He had a great game. He could have had 5, in all honesty. Instead, got the 2. Brilliant match. Joyous scenes in the away end. Spurs finish 4th. Norwich finish bottom. Norwich 0, Tottenham 5.
Impressive performance from Arsenal this afternoon, Jonathan, but it wasn't enough.
No, and then talking of impressive scenes in the away end, it was really interesting following the fluctuations of this afternoon while looking at the Everton fans today, who of course lived it on Thursday night for their own team and seemed to be living it today in favour of Manchester City. And when the third City goal went in, they were bouncing up and down like they'd come back from 5-1 down today. But anyway, that was a sideshow. Arsenal, after the whimpering surrender at Tottenham and Newcastle to rule themselves effectively out of top 4, at least they finished on a high today. An array of goals from Martinelli from the penalty spot, and Nketiah, Cedric, Gabriel, and a lovely finish from Ødegaard. Saka ended the season as an ever-present at the age of 20, and he was brilliant again on the day. Van der Beek got the 1 for Everton in first half stoppage time. And actually at the moment, I'm down in the tunnel at the moment, Mark, but actually out of there on the pitch at the moment, the Arsenal players are doing a lap of appreciation, and a very impressive and perhaps surprising number of Arsenal fans have stayed behind, and there is something of a party atmosphere out there. So for all the talk of Arsenal blowing it in the final weeks, there does seem to be an appreciation around the stadium here that this is progress, better than 8th place over the last 2 seasons, and of course much better than bottom of the table after 3 games.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. So Jonathan will get his reaction from the Emirates. Let's give you the final table at this point, 6:10 here on 5 Live Sport. Manchester City then 93 points, Liverpool 92. Chelsea, who beat Watford this afternoon with a late Ross Barkley goal, finishing 3rd on 74. And Tottenham, who conceded only 5 goals in their last 11 Premier League games of the season, finished with 71 from their 38 games. Then Arsenal with 69. Manchester United beaten today at Crystal Palace. 12 defeats this season for them. They have 58, but they get Europa League football. West Ham get the Europa Conference League after defeat at Brighton. They finish on 56. The rest of the top 10, Leicester, who beat Southampton, have 52. Brighton and Wolves have 51. Newcastle finish 11th with 49. Palace 12th with 48. What a great first season in the Premier League for Brentford, who finished 13th. They have 46. Aston Villa have 45. Southampton 40. Everton finishing 16th with 39. Leeds finishing 17th with 38. And then Burnley with 35. Watford with 23. And Norwich with 22 are the 3 teams to go down. Palace end their season with a win. Erik ten Hag saw his new Manchester United side beaten. John Southall.
He did, Mark, by 1-0. Fitting really after such a dismal season. The United finished with a 1-0 defeat and are only spared Conference League football next season, courtesy of another club, Brighton, who beat West Ham this afternoon. Penny for Erik ten Hag's thoughts this afternoon. Watching on from the main stand, actually interesting, a couple of seats down with Steve McLaren, which suggests he will be part of his coaching setup next season. He got a glimpse of the defensive frailties in the first half. It could have been 3 for Palace before the decisive goal. Bruno Fernandes gave the ball away. Wilf Zaha held off Dalot and Lindelof and tucked it into the bottom left-hand corner. His 14th league goal. It has been a good season for him. We did get a glimpse of a possible youthful United future. Hannibal Mejbri started and showed some nice touches. Shola Shortire, also the 17-year-old Alejandro Garnacho, both had cameos in the second half. But, you know, my goodness, what a job Ten Hag has on his hands. He'll meet Ralf Rangnick next week to discuss who goes, who stays, and who they need to bring coming in. It is a very big summer for them. But here at Selhurst Park, the fans are just waiting for the Palace side to come back out. They'll finish 12th, as you said. They're on 48 points. It's been a progressive season for them. They'll need to replace Conor Gallagher. He was the best player on the pitch this afternoon, but I think under Patrick Vieira they are in a good place, unlike at the moment United,
who end with a goal difference of 0. To Anfield, where they're saying goodbye, Ali, too.
Well, they've just described him, I think, quite rightly, as a club legend. So he's going through a guard of honour, the Belgian Divock Origi. 8 seasons at Liverpool, 175 appearances. In fact, there's no point in going through the numbers. It's not about the numbers with Divock Origi. The point with him is the goals he scored in the biggest games at the biggest moments for Liverpool. I've got Stephen Warnock sitting alongside me. Lovely reception here in Anfield. I mean, immediately, Stephen, I mentioned it in the commentary. You go back to 2019, the quick corner from Trent Alexander-Arnold, Divock Origi sticking that in to put the 4th in against Barcelona. He'll never be forgotten here.
No, he won't. I mean, incredible sort of appreciation for him around the ground. It was always going to be difficult for him to break into this Liverpool team with the forward 3 that they've had since his time at the club. But what he's been is he's been an incredible impact player, and he's been a player that's been able to be called upon by Jurgen Klopp at vital times when they've needed him, and he's come up with some incredibly vital goals as well.
Yeah, they've got some gifts for him down there. All the fellow Liverpool players now back out on the pitch. They're about to complete their lap of appreciation, all giving him a standing ovation. Not to be for Liverpool in the title race this afternoon, and the first man to come forward to Divock Origi, Mark, is Jurgen Klopp, and he gives him a huge big bear hug and says thank you very, very much, because without his goals in that semi-final, let's not forget he scored one in the final as well, then Liverpool would not have won that Champions League in 2019. And Jurgen Klopp, I have to say, has a big smile on his face. They've got another big battle to come, of course, Liverpool, next weekend against Real Madrid. But also, Mark, the thing I would say, and Stephen, you might want to comment on this, you can tell the dejection and the disappointment, and I know it was out of Liverpool's hands in the end because Manchester City won the game. Mo Salah came out to get his replica Golden Boot award that he's sharing with Son this season. They both finished on 23, and you nudged me and went, blimey, face like thunder, didn't he?
Yeah, because we look at Mohamed Salah and we always say, don't we, he chases individual accolades and he likes to be the main man. But you can see today quite clearly that the team meant more to him. The result would have meant everything. I think what was the issue was when the fans got up for it, when the fans started celebrating. I think when they heard it twice and then they heard it the third time, like you say, I think they thought they got an opportunity to win the title. So disappointing for the players.
It's very difficult, isn't it? Because they've done nothing wrong. But as we often say in sports, Stephen, it's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, sadly it is, isn't it? And I think, like I just go back to there, chappers, you should have heard the noise when the City goals went in round this stadium. It was absolutely deafening, and you were thinking they must have felt, while we're back in this, but you don't hear the other side of it when Manchester City. What reaction do you give round the ground to let the players know that City are winning 3-2? You can't. So they've probably felt, God, I mean, Mohamed Salah, when he scored, ABB will tell you, he ran off like he'd scored the winning goal in the Premier League. Yeah. And that was the sense we got.
I think they will recognise that comeback this afternoon, because Liverpool have done that before, haven't they, Mark, in terms of their 2 fantastic football teams and 2 very worthy adversaries. And I think Trent Alexander-Arnold, actually, from Liverpool's point of view, put it really well in the build-up to the game this week. He said, whatever happens, we have taken every single competition we've entered to the final game possible in that competition. It's not happened today. Liverpool will absolutely want to make sure they end up with 3 trophies this season. Massive game next weekend. But I think because it was just so close, that it was there for a while this afternoon, they really felt that they might win it, that pain is still there. Incredible season, 92 points, you finish second.
They're just getting ready to, they're just started to bring the furniture onto the field at the Etihad for the trophy ceremony. There was a banner as well just before we go to our next game, Stephen. There was a banner unfurled in the Kop then that said, football is nothing without Origi.
Yeah, brilliant. brilliant. I mean, he is. He's a legend here. The fans love him. He can be a frustrating player at times, but what he has done is he's produced moments that Liverpool fans will take away for years, and that is what you have to try and impact when you are a footballer. And some people do it better than others, and he's been able to leave a legacy here, and he'll come back for years at Anfield telling stories.
That's the point, Mark, isn't it? It's a football and sport, and the reason we watch it is about moments and about impact. And that goal I keep going back to, people who were in the ground that night. And I every time I think of that goal, I go back to listening to Ian Dennis and Alan Shearer describe it on 5 Live that night. It's an absolute I was there moment, and you'll never forget him for that. And he has a place, you know, in this club's great history. And that's why the numbers, you know, I was about to rattle them off and sub-appearance and stuff. That has absolutely no place. You know what I mean? He's a very special player for Liverpool due to a few amazing moments.
Is it a good thing to always go back to having Ian Dennis in your head?
Not always.
No.
No.
We are waiting for the trophy presentation at the Etihad, and we will bring you reaction. Obviously, an awful lot of what they call laps of honour going on around the country at the moment, so reaction taking a little bit longer to come in, but we'll bring you all of that on 5 Live Sport between now and 7 o'clock, certainly from the Burnley camp and the Leeds camp. Leeds staying up, Burnley being relegated. Let's go to the Amex next. West Ham in the Europa Conference League next season. Brighton ending their season with a win. Chris Coles.
Yeah, a game too far for West Ham in the end. They do settle for Europa Conference League football. They did look tired in the second half. Brighton deserving winners after goals from Joel Veltman, Pascal Gross and Danny Welbeck, following Mikel Antonio's brilliant opener for West Ham. That had given them a half-time lead, but they faded in what was their 55th game this season, and there hasn't been too much rotation from David Moyes. Both Mark Noble and Andrei Yarmolenko got minutes at the end of the match. Noble's 550th and final West Ham appearance. Yarmolenko leaving the club after 5 years. What an emotional season the Ukrainian forward has had. It's Europa Conference League football for West Ham, a best ever 9th place finish in the top flight for Brighton. The players and management currently celebrating on the pitch. No supporter invasion here. Indeed, there's a very celebratory atmosphere in the late Amex sunshine. Graham Potter currently being interviewed on the pitch. What a terrific season he and Brighton have had. Brighton 3, West Ham 1.
OK, thank you very much. Let's go to Stamford Bridge next. Chelsea beating Watford by 2-1. Henry Moran.
Yeah, a win for Chelsea in the sunshine here in West London, but it did require a 91st minute goal from Ross Barkley to secure the 3 points. Kai Havertz got an early goal. That was cancelled out by Dan Gosling with just 3 minutes remaining. It looked as though it would give Roy Hodgson a point in his final game in management, but that low header from Barkley giving Chelsea the point. A big hug for Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel from the prospective new owner Todd Bowley on the pitch a few minutes ago. Player of the season presentations have taken place, various family members having a kickabout as well. A nice scene in front of us. It has been a fairly turbulent season here at Chelsea, I think it's fair to say. They finished third, Watford are down, Chelsea 2, Watford 1.
Well, Pat, you got some goals in the second half.
5 in fact. Leicester beat Southampton 4-1. It certainly bucked up. It couldn't have got any worse, that is for sure. Good news for Insomniacs that first half. And Leicester, that exhilarating second half, means they trouser an extra £6.6 million for going up to 8th position in the league, which on the face of it is a good effort, bearing in mind all the various problems that they had, particularly with injuries and illness over the season. The goals, first of all, Maddison, yet another goal. What an impressive season. Second season in particular, second half of the season Maddison has had. Then Vardy, classic breakaway goal. Ward-Prowse, expert penalty made it 2-1 with 10 minutes to go. Then 2 fine opportunist goals from Perez, the substitute, made it 4-1 to Leicester. As for Southampton, they've got a lot to do, a lot of thinking, a lot of big decisions to make under their new owners this summer.
They have. Pat, thank you very much. Serie A title race has gone down to the final day as well, but AC Milan look like they're going to take it. They lead Sassuolo 3-0 into the second half. Inter scored a couple of early goals in the second half against Sampdoria, but as things stand, Milan would have 86, Inter would have 84, and the title going to the leaders AC Milan. Right, let's go to Wembley. FA Trophy final. Has the final whistle gone? Aaron Paul.
It has. Bromley 1, Wrexham 0. A solo Michael Cheek goal won this for Bromley, who were excellent throughout. The goal was a bit of genius. The ball popped over the top for Corey Whiteley. He ran through on goal but squared it for Cheek, who dinked the ball past the defender and the goalkeeper. Ellery Balcombe had to perform heroics in the Bromley net towards the end, but his side hung on to win it. Just over 46,000 watched it, Mark, as it finished Bromley 1, Wrexham 0. Bromley win the FA Trophy for the first time in their history.
It takes a little while to set a stadium up for a trophy presentation, John Murray.
Yes, it does, but they're well versed in it, and they practiced it here yesterday, and they practiced it at Anfield as well yesterday, just in case. But the pitch was finally cleared. They've actually taken the goals away completely, so they've been carried out of the stadium altogether. There are some Villa supporters, actually, maybe about 20 or 30 of them who've stayed behind to watch it. But
John,
elsewhere,
I'm going to jump in because the Aston Villa manager, Steven Gerrard, is live now on 5 Live with Gary Flintoff.
Thank you, Mark, and Stephen, thank you for joining us on Sports Report. Putting everything to one side in terms of title race, etc., how well did your side play today?
We were really good for 70 minutes of the game. The boys carried out the game plan exactly what we wanted. We had another big chance. We had a big chance first half, another big chance second half, and against one of the strongest teams out there, we caused them a lot of problems, and we had this game exactly where we wanted it, but unfortunately we went into protection mode too much. We stopped playing. We tried to survive, and to be fair to City, they showed extreme quality in the last 20 minutes and they were relentless.
I know you're a true professional, but obviously I know that the Liverpool red runs deep inside you. At any point at 2-0, did you even think about events at Anfield?
I don't think you can allow yourself to when you're up against managers and oppositions like Manchester City. I said before the game, the priority for us was, can we improve Aston Villa's league position? Can we go and give a good account of ourselves? And we did for large parts of this game. But unfortunately, we couldn't see the game out for the result for us. And I said if we could have managed to sneak something from the game, it would have been fantastic. And of course, it has crossed my mind, of course, I'll be open and honest, but unfortunately we couldn't do that.
Just finally then, this Manchester City side, I mean, can you put into words just how good this Pep Guardiola team is?
Well, look, they've been together for a very long time. They've recruited an awful lot of money to build one of the best teams in the world, and I said to the players before the game, whatever happens with the score, don't play the scoreboard, play every moment, because you can never switch off against quality players and quality opposition, and the City showed that in the final 20 minutes.
Commiserations today. Well done. Thank you, Stephen.
Let's go back to John Murray and Leon Osman. Can you put into words, Leon Osman, that turnaround that you saw?
Not really. It was staggering, to be honest. Because this didn't seem like the Manchester City we've seen all season long. They were a patch of it. They were a shadow of it for 73, 74 minutes. Nowhere near the quality we've shown. They were giving passes away unnecessarily. They couldn't get in the momentum. They certainly weren't troubling Olsen in the Aston Villa goal. And then suddenly it changed around. Suddenly, Steven Gerrard said, that momentum was relentless for the last 20 minutes, including stoppage time, and that was the Manchester City team, which deservedly has won the title this year. But for so long in the game, you wondered where they were. Was it nerves? Was it just very good tactical display by Aston Villa? But that doesn't matter now. Manchester City, in a 6-minute period, have got the job done, got themselves over the line, got that title into the record book as their own, and you could see the celebrations and the relief at times from the players, but the delight when that final whistle went was brilliant.
Strange, isn't it? Because as soon as the first went in, the psychology of sport is really odd, because as soon as the first went in, you thought a second was coming, and as soon as the second went in, you thought a third was coming.
Yeah, and before that...
But that's a lot harder for players to achieve than just that sort of psychology of the fan.
Yeah, definitely. But similarly, on the opposite way, when they were giving passes away and when Olsen was catching crosses and when things weren't working the way, it was as if they thought things are just going against us today. And that's how big momentum is in all sports, never mind football. And Manchester City, as they're just watching the goals back on the big screen here, as they're preferring for the players to come out. Manchester City, once that goal went in that we've just seen on the big screen, there was just no stopping them. They got the ball back quickly. The players were back on the halfway line, in their own half, ready to kick off before Aston Villa players had made it out of their own penalty area. They were just ready for the next moments in the game. They flooded men forwards. They played with enthusiasm. They found an extra spring in their step that hadn't been there previous in the game, and that's what got them over the line.
We're just going to move back from the Etihad and head to very different sensations and feelings and sentiments at Turf Moor. Burnley are relegated, beaten at home 2-1 by Newcastle today as Leeds went to Brentford and beat them 2-1. James Tarkowski has been talking to Martin Fisher.
Just devastated, really. Yeah, we came into this day quite confident we could do a job. We looked nervy first half and never really got going at all, and gifted them a goal with a penalty. I thought second half we did quite well. Besides their goal, I thought we looked quite good. Obviously, they're going to counter attack us when we're going for the game at the end. But over the season, we've just not been good enough, frankly. Too many mistakes and not enough goals, and that's going to result in you being lower down the table.
I think watching it as a neutral, I was surprised at how slow Burnley were to get out of the traps today. First half, just not the Burnley we're accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, no, the game of this magnitude is difficult. You think you can just go out and just run all over another team because you're the team that's after something, but it's not as simple as that. There's nerves. There's coming up against a team that's in good form, so it wasn't an easy game by any means. And we give it all in the end. I thought second half we did all right, but it's not about just today's result. Over the season we've not been good enough, and we took it right down to the wire, but just not enough.
When you were having that go at Newcastle in the closing stages, desperately close to Wout getting a touch to make it 2-2, that would have really set us up for a grandstand finish. What's going through your mind when that happened?
I thought second half we did quite well. We created a few chances, went after them. They've got dangerous players on the counter attack and they're going to make chances, but we dealt with that most of the time, and we just couldn't get them goals. But if you're going to gift a team like Newcastle 2 goals, you're going to find it difficult to win the game.
Were you aware of what was happening in the game involving Leeds? Was that news filtering through?
You can sort of tell from the fans that it's either positive or not, but we just knew if we won the game that would have been okay, so I wasn't trying to concentrate on that too much, and say frankly over this season we've not been good enough, and it's resulted in us being relegated now.
The supporters today, obviously they're on the floor, but terrific reaction from them at the end, giving you a standing ovation.
They've been incredible for ever since I've been here, to be honest. We've been on an unbelievable run over the last 6.5 years since I've been here. To stay in this league, because it's difficult. There's bigger teams than us, and bigger clubs than us have gone down. So to be in the league as long as we have has been a great achievement. It's just a shame that it's finished this way, but I'm sure the club will bounce back. I'm sure the owners will invest, and then whoever the new manager is will come in and revitalise the squad, because we've got some great talent in there. So I'm sure the future looks bright.
Mas Fariki was at this game, got a lot of work to do, haven't they, the Burnley owners and board?
Yeah, I mean, it really is so flat here now. The rain has started to fall as well at Turf Moor, which pretty much sums up the afternoon. And I think the frustrating thing for the fans is, as we heard there from James Tarkowski, that they really didn't start to play or have that real fire, that real fight today until they were 2-0 down, and they'd obviously wasted much of the game. And it's natural, of course, to have the nerves, but as soon as they could almost see that safety was on the horizon this season, Burnley, they really tightened up. And yeah, you just wonder how many of the players that left the field as they full-time whistle went, and then the fans stayed to applaud them all. You look at the likes of Wout Weghorst, who was in tears when he left the field, Maxwell Cornet as well. You wonder if some of these players will still be here at Burnley next season when they're playing in the Championship.
Maz, thank you very much. Don't forget, match of the day, 10:30 tonight on BBC One. Tottenham have the final Champions League place after a 5-0 win at Norwich. Son Heung-min amongst the goal scorers. And by doing that, he shares the golden boot this season with Mo Salah. He spoke to Simon Brotherton.
Congratulations to you on the golden boot. Nobody in the Premier League has scored more goals than you this season, but it looks as if it's weighing you down a bit, that trophy.
I mean, it's heavy. I mean, it's incredible to have this awards. I mean, I can't believe, when I saw him get really emotional, because I was dreaming for when I was a kid, and literally it's in my hands. I can't believe, to be honest.
What a great day for Tottenham, though, as a football club, back in the Champions League. I mean, a few ups and downs during the season.
Look, when you look at the past, it's always ups and downs, but we need to manage this balance for next season. I think today, this season was a great lesson, and for next season we are back in the Champions League and looking forward. And I think everyone deserves to be Champions League.
And the contribution the coach has made, Antonio Conte coming in.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think. He gave us so much different things. I mean, before he came to the clubs, I think nobody believes we can finish in the Champions League spot, and I think also player commitment and player effort. But I mean, from the manager, I think it was really, really helpful to be in the Champions League spot 100%.
They were dominant, weren't they, Lee Blakeman, today?
Were excellent, Mark. They really were. Son especially. I mean, I know quite often after games you hear a lot of hyperbole. He could have had 5, he could have had 6. He was that good. The game as a whole just summed up the seasons of both teams, really. Spurs dominant, impressive from start to finish. Kane and Son both shone, to be honest with you. Kulusevski also really impressive. He got a couple. Spurs fans in that away end in the sunshine lapped it up all afternoon, celebrating their first top flight finish for 3 years. Norwich, on the other hand, today, like all season, simply just not good enough.
And Dejan Kulusevski, I know he probably scored the goal of the day, didn't he, today?
Well, I tell you what, the only one that I think could beat it was Son's second, the one that secured the golden boot. That was a curler into the top corner from the edge of the area. Kulusevski's very similar, but from the opposite side of the penalty area. I've got a feeling there won't be too much arguing on the bus back as to whose was better, but both were absolutely outstanding.
Very true, and there will be a goal of the season as well on tonight's match of the day on BBC One at 10:30. 08085 909 693 to get your calls in to Chris and Robbie, who are following at 7 o'clock today. People getting into their cars all the time after the final day of the Premier League season. Let's just round up the results for you once again. Arsenal 5, Everton 1, Brentford 1, Leeds 2, so Leeds stay up. Brighton 3, West Ham 1. West Ham in the Europa Conference League next season. Burnley 1, Newcastle 2. Burnley are relegated. Chelsea 2, Watford 1. Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 0. Despite the defeat, Manchester United in the Europa League next season. Leicester 4, Southampton 1, which takes them to 8th in the table. Leicester. Liverpool beat Wolves 3-1. Manchester City 3, Aston Villa 2. They came from 2-0 down, did City. They win the title. Norwich 0, Tottenham 5. Tottenham are in next season's Champions League. Let's hear from, I would imagine, a delighted Leeds head coach, Jesse Marsh, live on Sports Report with John Akers.
Yeah, you've got that right. We're just in the tunnel area at Brentford. It's been chaos because Brentford have just done their lap of honour for their fans after a terrific season. The scenes at the end, though, in the Leeds end were quite something to behold. Shirtless fans swinging their shirts around their heads. And when Jack Harrison's goal went in at the end, Jesse Marsh, what was your feeling when that ball hit the back of the net, when you knew you were safe?
Jubilation and mission accomplished. I had to come here and try to find a way to maximize the potential of what we wanted to become in 12 games. And I feel like the character of the group, the way they've accepted me, the belief we've had in the team, the way we've pushed every day, we talk about it a lot. We talk about never saying die. We talk about always believing in ourselves. And for me, from the beginning, on a hot day in a difficult situation, this was one of our best starts that we've had in the league. And then obviously an incredible result.
You were 16%, I think, by some equation to win today's game and to stay up. What was the message going into the game when many people thought that Burnley would be the team to survive?
We weren't focused on what people were saying. We were focused on ourselves. We were focused on making sure that we wanted to perform the way we wanted to perform, that we wanted to push in the game and know the things that can make us good. And then to say that, one of the things that we really know about ourselves is that we never quit. And so we showed that.
What does it mean to you after the run you've had and the sleepless nights you might have suffered? What does it mean to you to stay up?
Yeah, I mean, for me, honestly, I haven't been too stressed. I mean, obviously I wanted to do the job for this club and for these players, but it was always about focusing on what they needed. For me, this is what leadership is trying to identify at all moments what the people need within your organization to help them be their best, to succeed, to achieve their goals as individuals and as a group. So when I lose sleep, it's more over that kind of stuff than it is over, are we going to get the result or not? And I'll be honest, of course, my job was in 12 games to keep us up and to get 15 points in 12 matches. It's an incredible accomplishment for me, given where they were when I came in, which was psychologically, mentally, physically really worn down. But it was all about the big picture and having the focus at the right times, but also knowing how to build things the right way so that we could be successful now and moving forward.
Jesse, well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jesse Marsh live on Sports Report with John Akers. Leeds are up. Burnley are down. The Premier League trophy is just being carried onto the pitch at the Etihad Stadium. We'll be back there for the trophy lift. John Murray and Leon Osman in position after the latest news.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
With the 5 Live News, I'm Matthew Bowen. The boss of one of the UK's largest energy companies, E.ON, has said that without government intervention, up to 40% of its customers could be in fuel poverty in the autumn. Michael Lewis said the rise in prices has been unprecedented. The government says it's exploring all options to help people. The deadline for Downing Street officials to object to being named in Sue Gray's report on lockdown parties has passed. The results of the investigation are expected to be published within days. The Polish President Andrzej Duda has delivered a message of strong support for Ukraine. He's become the first foreign leader to address the Ukrainian parliament in person since the Russian invasion began. And Austria has become the latest country to confirm it has a case of monkeypox. The outbreak has affected more than a dozen countries so far. The infection's usually mild and doesn't spread easily between people. In the UK, 20 cases have been confirmed.
Sports Report. This is BBC 5 Live.
Let's find out. I can just see on a tunnel camera, Pep Guardiola has put a Manchester City home shirt on. It says Champions 2021-2022 on the back. He's deep in conversation with Scott Carson, Manchester City's number 3 goalkeeper at the moment. So that's what's going on in the tunnel. Outside the tunnel, John?
Yes, well, the backroom staff have been introduced and they've walked out onto the pitch through the arch, the purple and orange arch, the colours of the Premier League. It's a special arch for the champions. That's what's written across it. And they've lined up, so it's like a guard of honour that's been formed by the Manchester City backroom staff, who are also wearing similar shirts. There are 33 of them, so there's a long line of them along the carpet. And then the management team have just come out as well, also wearing those shirts. So Pep Guardiola's assistants, Juanma Leo, Rodolfo Borrell and Carlos Vicens. And they're just waiting now for Pep Guardiola to be introduced. The trophy is already out there on its plinth. So the chief executive of the Premier League, Richard Masters, is in position with his presentation team. I'll tell you about them in a moment or two. So there's a couple of lovely stories there. But Pep Guardiola is just out of our sight now. And either side of the tunnel, there are dozens and dozens of policemen, actually. But
I can see him if that helps. Well, he's just winked at somebody and put his thumbs up.
I think it's a lengthy introduction that he's getting, and he looks a little twitchy, actually, moving from foot to foot. He's probably looking forward to getting this moment out of the way and getting in there and enjoying the celebration tonight. But he's just getting his instructions, actually, at the mouth of the tunnel.
He's going through the script with one. Yes. There you go, with one of the floor managers to see how long he's got to wait before he gets introduced. There you go.
Here he comes now. Pep Guardiola emerges now into the sight of everyone inside the Etihad Stadium with arms outstretched, and he's punching the sky. And he's not gone through the arch, he's walked to the right, and he's walked onto the pitch, and still, arms in the air, fists clenched, he's punching the air at this moment of celebration. And as he does that, his squad, the players that have won him the title, walk out now, and they are similarly adorned in these special sky blue shirts, and they will walk along that line of the backroom staff, and all of them, every single one of them. There are actually 19 players who will receive a medal, but all of those players who've been involved, the squad members, are out there as well, including those who will not receive a medal. But Pep Guardiola walks up now onto the stage, and he receives his medal, and he walks across that blue stage, and he sits down. Pep Guardiola, he's all on his own on the stage, sitting there with his hands on his knees, and I almost feel like there's a huge sigh of relief from him in seeing that. And having taken that moment to himself, he actually gets up and walks around in front of the board, the hoarding that is there, which has Champions 2021-22 written across it. So now we have all of the players coming up and receiving their medals, and they're receiving them. I must mention this because it's a lovely touch, the way that they do this. The presentation party, as well as Richard Masters of the Premier League, the trophy was carried out by Olivia Wilkinson, who is a club community nominee, 22 years old, works with City in the community, and she's been undergoing treatment for cancer, and she's been described as an example to all. What a great moment for her to carry out the Premier League trophy with the Manchester City ribbons on it, all the way along that carpet, and place it on the plinth. And the young man who will present the trophy actually is another club community nominee, who's standing up there on the stage, and he's shaking hands with all of the big Manchester City stars. He is Ben Mason. And Ben Mason is just 16 years old, and he's been raising funds for, and also raising the profile of, teenage mental health awareness, because 2 months ago his 14-year-old sister took her own life. So Ben Mason now is on the stage with all of the great work that he's done in the face of, you know, greater adversity than any of these football players had on this pitch today. And we're seeing now the players come up one by one, and Alexander Zinchenko, the Ukrainian, gets a huge cheer. You know what he's gone through in the last 6 months. Forgot to pick up his medal, which he has now been given by Ben Mason, and he has a little dance on the stage in front of his teammates. And it's growing there. Leon Osman, the number of City players were not too far away from the presentation of the trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zinchenko in particular getting a rousing cheer, not least because of what he's gone through, but also second half performance when he came on. He really did have a big influence on getting Manchester City the crucial 3 points today. So many of them did. So many of them weren't necessarily at the races for the majority of this game, but when it was really on the line, that 6-minute period, they stepped their game up so much, and they're celebrating like a team. The fans, the players, the staff, sharing really good embraces, and you can see that they're not just the team, you can see that the staff are so important to them as well.
Yeah, big cheer for Bernardo Silva. I mean, so many of these Manchester City players have had purple patches this season, and Bernardo Silva, a huge cheer for him. Raheem Sterling came on as a substitute, 17 goals for him this season. Here's Gabriel Jesus, who started many of the big games over the course of the last couple of months. There's a question about whether he will continue to be a Manchester City player next season. We'll see about that. Right, Riyad Mahrez as well, and now Phil Foden, the Premier League Young Player of the Season, steps up. You know, this is just really, this is still the start of it, you would think, for Phil Foden. At the other end of the scale, here's Kyle Walker, had to miss out on the latter matches of the season. You know, he's come back from injury and has forced himself into a position on the bench today. Ruben Diaz, last year's Player of the Year for Manchester City, and there's only a couple of them now to come through. And here's Ilkay Gundogan. Remember, the German international was Pep Guardiola's first signing as a Manchester City player, and today reached 10 goals for the season, so into double figures. And Kevin De Bruyne now, he's had his best goal-scoring season of his career, Kevin De Bruyne, and here's his song. Goals for Kevin De Bruyne. And now the way is clear for Fernandinho, the captain, 37 years old now. This is his last act as a Manchester City player after making his 383rd appearance. Young Ben Mason hands him the Premier League trophy. He walks into the middle of his teammates, and there it is. Fernandinho lifts the Premier League trophy, and Manchester City retain the title in 2022. The streamers go up, the flames go up, there is smoke all over the place. cheers in the stands, and Manchester City become champions for the 8th time in all, and the 4th time in 5 seasons. The league title, and how many times you've won it, that is the ultimate mark of how good a team actually is. And this Pep Guardiola team, they have created an era of Premier League dominance. 4 times in 5 seasons, that's 6 in 11 seasons for them. And here they are, they're familiar scenes now, Leon Osman, watching Manchester City in sky blue, celebrating the Premier League title.
Yeah, as you mentioned, brilliant scenes, not just because of the way the players are celebrating, every member of staff, but they're all just one big group celebrating the raising of this Premier League trophy. And you know, they're serial winners now. They really are. They've grown as a team. The young players only know winning. Your Phil Fodens and the emerging players through that, even the likes of Cole Palmer, is just learning how to win football matches within this squad. You look at Jack Grealish's head just popped up there. Potentially, if he hadn't have moved, he would have played in this fixture, watching Manchester City lift the title. Having made that move, he's now the one raising the trophy into the air in celebration.
Yeah, and had to do it as front runners as well, remember. Everyone had them down as their favourites. But they had to dig deep in those final 2 matches. 2-0 down last Sunday against West Ham. Drew it 2-2. Could have won it, could have all but won the title last Sunday had it not been for the saved Mahrez penalty. And then 2-0 down again today to Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa team. But those 3 goals, they'll remember those. That little period of 3 goals in 5-6 minutes, whatever it was, that clinched them this title ultimately. And that's why we are seeing these celebrations here inside the Etihad.
And those celebrations will go on for a long time, and I think the bus parade for City is going to be tomorrow, according to the club. So there'll be a bus parade to celebrate their 4th title in 5 years. As John said, it is definitely an era for Manchester City. Mikel Arteta, of course, used to be Pep Guardiola's assistant, and Manchester City has led Arsenal to 5th this season. They beat Everton today on the final day by 5 goals to 1. Wasn't enough to overhaul Tottenham. As I say, they finished 5th. He's been talking to Robin Cowan.
Well, Mikel, didn't quite get what you wanted in terms of where you are on the table, but what a way to sign off today.
Yeah, it was great at least to be able to win the match and play the way we played and give something back to the fans. Obviously at halftime we already knew the result, and it was complicated, but again, thank you so much for the atmosphere that they built again around the stadium, and at least we finished with what we had to do.
In terms of the squad, you know, there were 3 players out of contract that we saw. I think some of the fans might want to know, you know, what the situation is with them first of all.
We will start to speak to them tomorrow and go individually, case by case, assess and reflect what we want for next season, and all together make the right decision.
And in terms of next season, do you foresee a big change in the squad, or just a few? Do you feel like you know what you need?
Let's see. At the moment, I'm still in a lot of pain for the way things happened on Monday, and it's difficult for me to make a right assessment, probably, and a fair assessment of what we've done. And I need a few days, probably a week or 10 days, to go back, let the dust settle a little bit, and look forward with more clarity.
There was a celebratory atmosphere at the end, Jonathan Overend, wasn't there, as you were saying, between players and fans, but it's not really matched by Arteta there.
No, and I asked him about that. He repeated to me, he said, I'm still in pain from Monday night, and I suggested to him that there didn't seem to be much pain out in the stadium, and his response is, well, it shows that we have some very intelligent fans who've seen how we've tried to transform the club this season. And of course, he's made a whole series of big decisions, starting with the Aubameyang decision. He's changed his goalkeeper as well. He's hardly played the club's record signing in Pepe. He's tried to bring young players through, but he does have this stark reality that as of tomorrow, he doesn't have any strikers, because the out-of-contract players that Robin put to him there, Nketiah and Lacazette, both out of contract now. Lacazette only 6 goals this season in all competitions, and definitely this is going to be a very busy and important summer for Mikel Arteta, although he did say, first and foremost, I need a break.
Thank you very much. Jonathan, I think quite a few people feel they need a break. Let's go back to Turf Moor. Burnley relegated, beaten at home by Newcastle today. Mike Jackson has been in charge of them since Sean Dyche was sacked. He's been talking to Martin Fisher.
Obviously, it's raw. You know, you've got a group of players and a group of mates there who are gutted. You know, I don't think there's ever any other word to say about that. The effort that they've put in since these 6-7 games since we've been here has been brilliant. You know, today we've come on the wrong side of giving the penalty away and having to chase the game a bit. But we had some really good chances in the second half, but didn't take them.
What was missing in the first half for you, Mike? You couldn't find any kind of rhythm, it seemed.
No, I knew that game was going to be like that with what was at stake. I knew I knew the way Newcastle play. There wasn't much in the game, to be honest. And then obviously you give the penalty away, and then obviously they can sit in a little bit more, and you end up chasing it a little bit, and you don't get the rhythm. But I knew that wasn't going to be the case. I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of rhythm in the game today. I knew it was going to be like that.
Of course, this was just part of the scenario. It was also what was happening at Brentford. How across that were you and the rest of the bench?
Yeah, we knew everything that was going on. Obviously, you got reaction from the fans as well. So we knew all about that was there. But listen, it's just really raw. Like I just said at the moment, it's just a lot of emotion in it, and I'm gutted for everyone involved, to be honest. But proud in another way with the group of lads in there, because they've been brilliant with me, and I couldn't have asked for any more from them.
And I think that's reflected by the reaction of the supporters today, because I've seen an awful lot of teams relegated, and sometimes the fans get on the back of their team. But today, despite the fact you weren't clicking first half, there was none of that, was there?
No, there wasn't. They stuck with us even at the end there. They've been great. It's their club. We're gutted we couldn't give them what they wanted. I hope we've seen a group that was fighting for them. All we can do now, or what the club can do, is try and bounce back straight away.
Let's go back to the Etihad Stadium. Gary Flintoff is in the thick of these title celebrations.
I am indeed. Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Bernardo Silva. What does this mean?
It means a lot. So happy. 4 Premier League in 5 years. Best team in England. Of course, we wanted more for this season. I think we had a great season, and we deserved a bit more. But to give these guys, the fans, the Premier League title, we know how much it means to them. So yeah, no words. The happiness of winning again, it's huge. And the way it was, I think.
What were you thinking at that point?
We suffered a lot when we didn't have to suffer that much. But yeah, it feels so good to win it again, and we're so happy.
What does it say about the character of you and your teammates? What does it mean to say in terms of the character of you and your teammates? What happened in the Burnabout? What happened here today? And yet you've still found a way to win this Premier League title.
Yeah, when they scored the second one, it's not easy because the stadium, there's a bit of disbelief, and we still have to believe in the turnaround, the comeback. And when Gundo scores the first goal, the guys helped us so much, and we scored the other two so quickly, which was very good. And yeah, so happy for winning this game. The way it was, it makes it a little bit better, but let's try not to repeat that.
And is it sweeter because of the level, the performance of the team that you have beaten to the title in Liverpool?
When you beat a team as good as Liverpool, so they're a great team, it feels better. So if you win the Premier League with 90 points and the second team has 70, it's good, but we won it the last few years against top teams, especially Liverpool. It's been tough for us. And yeah, once again, we're the best team in England, and we're gonna come back and try to give a bit more to our fans next season.
Very, very well done. Many congratulations.
Bernardo Silva live on Sports Report with Gary Flintoff at Manchester City's title celebrations. Manchester United beaten 1-0 at Crystal Palace. They finished with 12 defeats out of their 38 games this season, a goal difference of 0, and they scrape into the Europa League. Here's Ralph Rangnick.
Well, I think today's game was a bit indicative of the last couple of weeks. The team tried, yes, but the level of performance was not the one that we would have expected and needed to win this game. In the first half, we had 3 good opportunities to score. We didn't. And then we had just too many unforced errors in the first half, including the way that we prepared their goal. We had a throw in ourselves, kicked the ball into our own 16-yard box, and in the end didn't defend that shot well enough. Second half again we tried, but in general we were just, the level of performance and the way that we played in the last couple of weeks was just not really good enough to get more points.
What positives do you take from today's game, the last couple of weeks, or is it now all eyes on next season?
Yeah, it's now all eyes on next season. I think we were fortunate that Brighton did us a favour to turn the game around and beat West Ham, so that we at least finished sixth. Of course, the goal was finishing in the top four, but in order to do that, we just would have had to play better. Since the defeat against Atletico, it was obvious that the level of confidence, the level of energy dropped, and we couldn't play on the same level since then that we played until then. I'm still positive. We have a new manager. We know exactly that we need reinforcements and in which areas they are necessary, and I'm positive and optimistic that if we work together, that we can achieve and manage to convince enough players to help to strengthen the squad.
And just quickly on the new manager, Erik ten Hag was here today watching from the stands. What conversations, if any, did you have in and around this fixture?
Now, we haven't been able to speak in person, but this might happen in the next couple of days, I hope. I'm looking forward to it, and I didn't know that he was here, but I think he saw probably the same that we saw. As I said, I'm optimistic and positive that we can strengthen the squad together.
Come on, heck of a job, John Southall, hasn't he?
Yes, I thought that was an ambitious question as well, wasn't it? What positives will you take out of the last couple of weeks? Crikey, not many. Not many. Yeah, he's got a massive job on his hands. As he mentioned there, Ralf Rangnick, he's going to meet with Erik ten Hag either tomorrow or early next week. I hope they've set a few days aside to pick through the bones of the season and the latter half of it, because it's been pretty dismal. I mean, they can have a look at which players are going to leave, who's going to stay. Like Paul Podka, Edison Cavani's obviously leaving, Matic, Mata, Lingard, what happens with Martial, what happens with Bailly. Then you've got the young players, Garnacho came on today, Medjugorje started the game, what kind of future do they have? I mean, who do you bring in? Centre-back, you've got to replace Pogba, you've got to get the best of the likes of Sancho and Rashford. Donny van der Beek also comes back in. So there are so many questions, and there is so much to be sorted out now for Manchester United over the next couple of months.
And as far as Crystal Palace were concerned, a good final day win to what has been a very encouraging season overall.
Yeah, I think so. It's the first time they've ever beaten Manchester United in the Premier League. I think the last win here against them was back in 1991. Yeah, definitely. They've been progressive this season. They've changed the way they've played. They've been more entertaining. I think they've only finished with 4 more points than they did last season, but they're definitely heading in the right direction. They've got a good squad of offensive players, and defensively they've been pretty solid. I think the one thing they're going to have to do though is replace Conor Gallagher. He has been such an influence on this team. He's player of the season voted by the fans as well, I think. So they do need to try and replace him if possible when he goes back to Chelsea.
Thank you very much, John. The final whistle has gone in Serie A. Milan have beaten Sassuolo 3-0. Inter have beaten Sampdoria 3-0. That means Milan take the title by 2 points from their city rivals. In the Women's Premier 15s today, in the playoff semi-finals, wins for Exeter and Saracens. So those two will now meet for the title at the beginning of June. Max Verstappen earlier won the Spanish Grand Prix. Back to the Premier League. Manchester City are celebrating. Liverpool couldn't do it. They beat Wolves 3-1, but they finished behind City. Jurgen Klopp has been talking to Jules.
Jurgen, with Manchester City, at one point it did feel that the Premier League title could be coming to Anfield. The fans certainly felt that, but it is the hope that kills you, isn't it?
Yeah, I obviously was not really in that situation. I didn't know 100% what's going on. I realized that obviously Aston Villa is up front or whatever as the lead. First and foremost, congratulations, Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, all his staff, and everybody, all the people from Man City, for winning a tough race. That's how it is. If you want to win big, you have to be ready to lose big. We lost big today, not the game, but the league, if you want. But we will go again.
It's been one heck of a ride, as we know, this season, especially in the Premier League. You've still got that Champions League final to go. Can I ask, though, on Thiago, because that didn't look good?
No, doesn't look good, but I cannot say more. We have to see. Obviously, he was now outside with the families. Has even his kid on his shoulder, so he can walk, but was limping. It's not a long time to the final, so we will see.
I know the players, they kind of looked a little bit deflated, disappointed, probably because they knew how close they really were. Two quick ones, though. What is the mood like? Obviously, you're going to get them going again. And a quick word on Divock Origi as well, the send-off that he got.
The mood is obviously very, very disappointing. So it's like in a situation like this, you would prefer that City is 5-0 up after 10 minutes and then you just play your game home. It's fine. But, of course, when it's this up and down and people, and then when it was 3-2 and for a second somebody probably said 3-3, then again, it was like last time I felt for a second like we could become champion.
It's that wave, wasn't it?
Yeah. But we'll never understand how the Aston Villa supporters can celebrate. Not Aston Villa, the Wolverhampton supporters can celebrate when City is scoring a goal. It's like I will never understand this kind of feelings. But yeah. Yeah, that's it. We are disappointed, but of course, if we wouldn't be disappointed, then it would mean nothing to us. So it means the world to us. But it was not that completely unexpected. In our mind, we knew it could happen.
The most interesting line in all of that for me, Ali, who is still at Anfield, was the line that, in some ways, he wished that City had been 5-0 up after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that sums up the fact that the drama of the City game has affected the mood of the Liverpool squad.
Yeah, that's right. And I think Jules' first question there was, it's the hope that kills you. And there was so much hope in this stadium with Aston Villa 2-0 up away. And actually at that point, I think the trepidation in the stadium was, crikey, what if we don't get this second goal? As in, what if Manchester City do slip up this afternoon and then we slip up and don't win the title because of that? Now, in the end, Liverpool took care of that. And as Jurgen Klopp said, you have to congratulate Manchester City on what they've done. I've actually just written down a couple of other things. Well, I mean, I do think, I'm just watching a few of the Liverpool players out on the Anfield pitch at the moment, just kicking balls around with kids and stuff. And obviously there's huge disappointment here this afternoon. But we've said it all afternoon, haven't we? Two magnificent teams that we have been watching pretty much ever since Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola arrived. And they probably wouldn't be as good, without each other. They are driving each other on to greater and greater heights. And if you look at that title race, City have won one more game than Liverpool in the league. They've lost one more game than Liverpool in the league and had two fewer draws. And it comes down to one single point. And that's why I think it seems so tough when you're on the wrong end of it. I think obviously what softens the blow, and we saw it in the lap of appreciation here, Liverpool brought out the League Cup and the FA Cup to take all the pictures and show the fans again, and there's still the Champions League final to come. So, great seasons for both clubs, but the league title means so much, doesn't it? It means so much to all the clubs, but Liverpool on 19, Manchester United on 20. It took them so long to finally